Today's a good day. AMC breaking the F out. Oh shit. Oh, we are breaking out, baby. We are breaking out. Why did my webcam stop? Reboot. Properties. Deactivate. Activate. We're back. We'll be starting a space call in a minute, but I wanted to catch this breakout live. Hold on. That was requested. I'm Batman. There we go. Cross. Very important 1880 line that I called out earlier. I do believe if this doesn't continue to break out and test 2016, I think we'll come back down. We'll retrace 1827 to complete the cup and handle, and then we will shoot up, break 1880, and we will test probably $20. Yeah, $20. Man, this is what a great day. What a great day. Just gonna start the call early because I'm vibing. I'm just vibing today. Oh, we need to bring the call up. Alright, let's just start the damn call. Start now. I will get the feed going and I'll shut off my mic and we'll get down to business. We're gonna cover a lot of good things in the call. What's up, brother? What's up, Italy? Dude, we're rocking today, dude. We're breaking all my lines. We're breaking all my test lines. I'm so thrilled. Is give the room a few minutes. We'll let it load up, and I'm going to set up the YouTube. I didn't think we would have this much to talk about today after yesterday, but that SEC meeting, that webcast was something else. Why is it not showing? There we go. I want to join it right now. This is silly. Why can't I join this on my PC? Let me refresh. What's up, everybody? Just getting the call set up a little early because AMC is running, so I wanted to stream it on YouTube because it's looking very froggy. Very froggy. There we go. Running, so I wanted to stream it on YouTube because it's looking very froggy. Very froggy. There we go. If anybody wants to request to talk right now, feel free, man. This is just like some pre-headline chill time, so everybody can come in the room. I know there's a lot of people that I didn't even plan on hosting a call today. I will tell you a quick story, though. I'm kind of upset because I was supposed to sign for my new property this Friday, and I liquidated the small position of BBIG that I had taken out first thing in the morning because they called me and said, okay, well, you do need a down payment. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. Then after I do that, BBIG runs like 15%. And then
they call me back today and say, "Oh, we need to do a 5-day extension." So I wouldn't even have had to have sold my stock, and I would have made some money on that too. So that was pretty bogus. But AMC's covering me for sure. 14.8%, baby. Oh, and the minute charts are just green. We're gonna close. We are gonna close at, come on, 19. Just want to see. If you guys have never checked out the YouTube, go to my my Twitter and check it, because I'm dressed up for the occasion. It's pretty funny. Let's see. And if you haven't yet, if you have a Wax account, a Wax.io account, please check it, because you might have gotten an NFT drop from them recently. My webcam keeps freezing up right now. Oh man, we're so close to 19. What a day. What a day. I hope everybody listened to the SEC on the Sunshine Act this morning on the webcast. If you can't, the link to the SEC webcast is on my Twitter also. I highly recommend listening to that. Got to re-add my webcam. If you guys want to talk, just request, just come up and chit chat. It's totally open. What's going on? Why is it frozen? Properties. Activate. $18.92. There. Close. Webcam back in order. We're 3 minutes away from the call starting. $18.96. Oh, baby. 97. Somebody wants it. It's just a good day in general for Ape Nation. All around. Two minutes from closing. Go back to the 1 minute chart, see what's going on. Man, 15% day. Wouldn't you know? Be surprised if these guys try to. A little bit of red there. I wouldn't be surprised if these guys tried to just drop this right at close. Hey, what's up, guys? There's everybody. Man, I just got really hungry watching this chart. All right. If you could, please tweet the call out so we can get more people in here. AMC's ripping and rocking. It's such a great day. We'll go over the SEC webcast today a little bit, just with some headlines. We got our new VP of Popcorn, VP of Growth for AMC. Ellen, I keep forgetting her last name. I apologize. I'll bring it up. And Ortex reported GME and AMC utilization at 100% today. It wasn't just reported. They actually made a tweet and said, yes, it is 100%. So what's up, Jen?
Hey, what's up? I'm actually just on my way home here. I had to stop by the lab here and do some blood tests. So
they did the blood test. You know what your results were?
It was just
You're awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just after the so after the miscarriage, they have to test to see if the pregnancy hormone is still in your system.
Gotcha.
So that's, yeah. So they have to make sure it's, back down to zero again. So
Are you going to end up like Lucy, where you have too many pregnancy hormones and you can transcend space and time?
that would be kind of cool, actually. We'll see.
We closed at 1897 and hit 19 immediately in the aftermarket. I'm sure people will be posting about the closing price here. Tara, what's up?
Hey, Tara.
Fine. I didn't want to talk to you anyways.
I'm just I might have to be quiet here for a couple minutes. Like I said, I'm just driving home and I kind of can't, talk and stuff and drive at the same time.
Yeah, no
So
worries.
if I'm quiet, that's why. So, but yeah,
What?
I'm excited to be here. What an exciting day, you guys. I mean, AMC's just
Sorry.
flying right
Hi,
now.
guys.
It's awesome. Hey, Tara.
Hey, sorry about that. I was gonna do a couple things. Yeah, today's amazing, by the way. I have so much to rub in to the people who were actively Sunday on their $200 discords and going on spaces like this and telling people to short AMC from 14 down to 7. Now we're up 25% in the last 2 days. Up 10 yesterday, up 14, 15 today. I mean, it's absolutely insane that there are people who are getting paid to tell people to lose their money. Why would you short AMC when it's already down? Oh my gosh, there's so many things you can short. There's so many things you don't chase. Like, imagine you see someone hit a jackpot on a slot machine. Do you walk over and spend your money, the rest of your money, trying to hit that same jackpot on that slot machine? I mean, it just baffles my mind. Like, what are these people thinking? You don't chase. AMC is already down. It's already hit a floor. Like, it's so obvious that it does not, excuse me, go below that $14 floor. Why would you short at 14? And why would you get paid to tell people to short it? Makes no sense in my mind. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for us. I'm excited for the people holding. I feel terrible for people who are getting advice from people like Simply Sim, who are complete shams, who basically used my calls to try to build a following, get people over to her Discord for $200 a month to tell them to short AMC and lose their asses. That is so bad. Bad, bad, bad. I hope she gets in trouble. Honestly, I hope people come for her head. The same way that I'm getting accused of market manipulation, according to Gasparino. I mean, I am not actively telling people to go short on a play that's already down 60+%, and then they're just getting completely laid away. I mean, that is just bad news. Anyway, good news for us, bad news for them.
And we keep receipts.
Yes, sir. I have a screenshot. Yeah, I have screenshots of it. I'm going to put them up, but I just feel like I don't want to
whistleblower complaint.
For real, I don't want to take a stab at the people who listened to that advice, unknowingly. Like, they're not necessarily aware of what's going on around the stock. So they go to a Discord like that thinking, oh, look at this girl. She flexes her Rolex. She shows off her fancy rental cars. She does this and that. So she's making all this money. She has a $200 a month Discord, so therefore she knows what she's talking about. So when she tells me to short AMC, I'm going to listen. Oh my gosh. I can't imagine being one of those poor souls.
How about some of our own YouTubers that told people to sell and buy back in cheaper?
Oh my gosh. Oh man. And now you're not even allowed to talk about AMC on those Discords, by the way. So that's how wild it's gotten. And imagine not being allowed to talk about the stock that we all started on like this. Imagine not being allowed to talk about it in a paid for Discord that you go and pay for because AMC led you there on a day where we're up 10% and 15% back to back. You can't even talk about it. You can't even enjoy it. You can't even celebrate it. I mean, that's what it's all about, isn't it? These little victories, these little milestones. I don't know. It's wild.
Well,
It's fun though.
the
I'm
FOMO
happy.
now.
I'm happy.
I just got a text from a guy that I know that made a bunch of money on call options, and then he only buys when the FOMO, and then he loses his butt. But then if I'm getting text from him that he's buying in, then it's running.
Yeah, it's pretty wild that these guys were all saying this, right? Like a day before or during all this good news for AMC is dropping left and right. These people that have been attacking Tara and me in this group for 6 months are now being caught on other channels telling you to sell the stock, telling you to buy puts. They are actively engaging in market fraud by taking advantage of unsuspecting traders. And I hope somebody does file a whistleblower complaint against them because they are the grifters. Just like Mark said, it's fucking insane. But I'm not going to let them ruin my day. If you guys check the live YouTube, I've got a special treat. If you can just see the video, you'll see it later recorded. But I've got my special face gear on for the feed, and I'm psyched, man. This has been one of the best AMC runs we've had in a while. We got a new VP for popcorn. We got NFTs coming out. Batman ticket sales are selling the fuck out. The SEC thing today was phenomenal. I'm actually really happy with Gary Gensler. He was chill, calm, cool, collected, and these new regs coming out on the back of the BSTX being approved make a lot of sense. And I think it's to help usher people in to blockchain exchanges so they don't have to deal with all these regulations that'll be self-contained in the market structure, in the exchange structure. And the 100% utilization is huge, you guys. That's
off the wall. That is crazy. Can you believe that? And GameStop too, guys.
And I'm pumped. I'm simping over our new VP of popcorn, man. She's I think
hot.
She's hot.
I saw her
She's
picture.
super hot.
I already stalked her. Oh my gosh. We have a hot new AMC VP. Okay. I'm trying to find her on Twitter, but I can't find her. I was going to try to get people to make memes. We need memes, Spence. We need memes.
I did. Didn't you see mine? I'll send it to you.
Send it. Did you tweet it?
I put her picture. I said when a snack sells snacks.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was a funny tweet. Spence. That was pretty funny.
Did you really? Spence, you're killing me. Her husband's going to be like, I'm sorry, babe, you got to quit. You can't do that job. That Spence guy's, nope. I know that type.
She's going to be the front runner. She's going to be the poster child for AMC pretty soon. I know it.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
What's up, guys? Gals?
What's up, buddy?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, good. How are you guys doing?
Amazing. Today feels amazing.
Today was great. One thing though that I'm upset about is that I didn't buy any options.
I know. I'm slapping myself because I literally was about to on Monday, and then I'm just so scared of options with AMC. It just really freaks me out. But
I'm so upset right now. But on the other hand, my GME options are printing. Let's go.
Let's go. That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thanks.
That's awesome.
You guys got to see what Gasparino just posted. This dude, he crossed the line.
What is it?
That guy was on Fox.
Breaking news. AMC arson investigators, aka Apes, have given up on their MOAS price target of $100, settling for less than 20. Plus no official word on who set the fire. They're pinning on some imaginary short seller trading in synthetic shares, story developing. He's such a fucking goober.
That guy was.
He's mad at me, Spence. He did that because he's mad at me because I called him out so you remember the other day he said, I'll read his tweet. He said, breaking, as the Justice Department ramps up its investigation of short selling abuses, Fox Business can confirm that neither Citi Securities, which is Citadel, nor its associated hedge fund is not on the DOJ list of 60 firms targeted, sources with direct knowledge say, which he accidentally, I guess, did a double negative there, which we know actually is a positive. So I think he was secretly telling us that he was lying. Melvin Capital is under investigation from what I'm hearing, and they who bailed out Melvin?
Right. I just pinned the tweet up top. If you think Citadel is not involved in this investigation, just by association, they have to check into Citadel after giving Melvin $2 billion, taking back $500 million, and then Melvin losing $1.5 billion on Facebook. Gasparino's mad because he's tired, outdated, old, and boring. And I've noticed his publicist, Eleanor, is starting to tweet out more on her own, which I love her tweets. And I hope she pushes her own brand out more and gets herself on Fox News.
Yeah, she's
because
distancing herself.
Gasparino is lame, dude. He's so boring and lame. He should go hang out with Lord Fed and those clowns.
I think he does. I think he does on the side, but so I put up, I said, Melvin Capital is one of 60 funds under investigation by the DOJ. Remember who bailed them out? And then Gasparino, someone replied with the 4 images, one showing Gasparino's tweet. And I said, a story in 4 parts, Gasparino tried. And then he responded to me, rather than even, a talking point on that, he just says, pretty weak MOAS you got. When is it going to 100 again? So I had a quote tweet him and say MOAS before YOAS. And yeah, I think he's angry. He's an angry little elf. And so therefore he's tweeting now about the AMC arson, which he keeps referring to it as arson. No one else is. Everyone's just concerned about why this financial building that apparently, is associated with TD Ameritrade, and maybe some other things that someone's been DMing me privately about that go even deeper. And he seems to want to just paint it as, nothing to see here. There's nothing to see here, guys. He's literally that meme. So.
And yeah, especially when a shelf knocks out an industrial fire sprinkler system, of which I've had multiple experiences with in aviation hangars. And it's just like, okay, a building burns down at this point in time when a DOJ investigation is going on that holds physical records of activity required by the SEC to be held for so many years. Of course you should ask a question. And anybody
as
coming
a
out
journalist,
at this point,
he should be asking questions.
Yes, he should be reporting
if he
it.
was doing his job, he should be the one investigating or looking into this, doing investigative reporting, looking into this and trying to figure out what happened, what's the story. No one is talking about it. Nobody is talking about it, and they're thinking, what are they thinking? Do they think that we're not going to find out? We're the freaking apes. We find out about everything. You cannot get away with anything.
I gotta read this.
And they not only that, Spence, they let it burn for 4 or 5 days, and then we're hauling away the burning rubble before they even did an investigation. They were hauling stuff out of there, which most people are saying that's not usually how they handle situations like that.
They have, for fires like that now, they have foam it's like foam and certain type of thicker soap suppression systems that are made for heavy fires like that. They could have been using that. The Chicago, Illinois fire teams are pretty top notch, and I refuse to believe that the only fire station around an industrial sized building like that is a volunteer fire department. I don't know, man.
It is pretty crazy.
So,
and the fact that the fire station is only like 1.5 mile away from the actual scene where the fire happened. I mean, that's pretty nuts. Like, why didn't they get their crews out there a lot sooner? It's just, none of it makes sense.
I didn't know that, Jen. That's absolutely insane.
1.5 miles. It is nuts. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Roderick just DM'd me. He's all, Crapsperino isn't a journalist. I'm all, what is he? He's all, a joke.
He's a talking head commentator that knows nothing about nothing. I don't know. I'm surprised he hasn't been fired yet. Why hasn't this guy been fired? Like,
oh man,
nobody cares. Like, it's unbelievable.
I'm inviting him in here.
Let me read this tweet response to his post from We Need That at what it is 919, and I quote, this is in response to Gasparino's tweet, and I quote, You have the smallest wiener in the world, I'm assuming. One Green Day, and this guy is over here talking spec. Nobody asked you, buddy. Also, grow the hell up, man. My God, you act like a 12-year-old. Is that what Kenny likes? Just became normal for you now. End quote.
No.
He's going to get it. I wish Gasparino would do some actual reporting, of which I fully believe he could be nominated for a Pulitzer on what's happening right now. But
not a synthetic one, legit one.
A legit one. Hell, I'll make it an NFT for him. But Fox News viewers are going to have to come to Froggy Stonks on YouTube to get any real information on what's going on from our Twitter Spaces calls. This guy is the one who's supposed to be putting out this news, and he's failing. And I see why Eleanor seems to be kind of moving away and doing her own thing on Twitter now, which I'm really happy. I'm loving her tweets.
Hey guys, back to the fire thing. I'm actually dealing with the fire marshal in the business that I'm opening up right now, and talking about that fire in Bartlett. You know, if it smells like fish, it's fucking fish, okay? Because I have to go through a shitload of, codes and stuff for what I'm doing in the business. So that burning down shit, and my fire sprinklers are way on top, right? And so there's nothing fucking knocking that shit down, right? It's just some bullshit. So yeah, with that fire stuff, I was like, oh, when I saw that, and they were talking about racks knocking the sprinkler down. These water pipes they're pretty galvanized, pretty thick, and really anchored down, right? So nothing's gonna knock them down.
How do they know that a shelf knocked the pipe down if the building's on fire?
Right. Well, the fire is the highest point of your safety system, right? It's the highest point. There's nothing knocking that down. I'm sorry. So I just wanted to add that on there. Oh, by the way, I actually called a news channel, and I was like, hey, I want to be anonymous. I was just wondering if this was a conspiracy or something criminal. Hint, hint. About the Bartlett fire in terms of the DOJ coming out with some, new rules and regulations and investigations and stuff, and Bartlett warehouse burnt down. And so the anchor or the news person was like, okay. So yeah, they're not investigating this shit. I mean, they're investigating, oh, it's a fire, look behind me, it's fire. But then they're not doing shit. They're not doing anything. You have was it cranes or not cranes, but you have excavators taking these material into dump trucks while it's still on fire. This is ridiculous. Who does this stuff?
So really quick,
it's crazy.
Really quick, I invited Sonny in here because he has been actually going out and almost acting like an undercover reporter and taking live footage of the fire and updating all of us. So, hey, Sonny, I just wanted to get you in here just because you're there. You have like a firsthand look at what's going on. What are your thoughts?
What's up, guys? How you doing? What a great day.
Yeah, today's good for AMC. That's for sure. It feels good to be an ape.
Yes, it does.
And GME too.
And
yes, GME too. GME too.
Yep. And now I've got some more evidence that's gonna blow your mind that I'm gonna post tonight, and it's all gonna start making a lot of sense. So
I'll be watching. I'll be waiting.
yeah.
I'm always looking for your updates.
Oh yeah, I was there yesterday too, and the pictures that I took, it's like there's no possible way. I'm gonna draw it out and show you guys exactly my thoughts, and you guys could put in your thoughts, but the way I see it, it's impossible for this to have happened.
I'm excited to see. That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yep. So I'm excited too. I'm a little afraid.
I just saw your Ape Force One tweet.
I took a little drone footage.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, I took the drone out there and took a little bit of footage. I couldn't go up too close or high because the winds were kind of heavy, and the drone that I have is a little bigger than the normal one, so the wind will start taking it. But I did get some footage. But yeah, there's like nothing left. I mean, it looks like they're moving around dirt. That's how charcoaled everything is. It's insane.
So the picture that you put up showing the side door where the sprinkler system is open, you showed, and then is that an alarm system circled in blue?
It's actually a camera.
Or, oh, it's a camera. I see. Okay. And it looks like that's intact. Is that still intact now?
Today, I didn't make it out there today, but yesterday, yes. That whole room, which is a sprinkler pump room, they had the door closed, so it says right on the door, sprinkler room. So I know that's what it is. And on the other side of the wall, adjacent to it, that whole wall all the way to the ceiling is still intact. It never fell over. So you got the riser pipes going through the wall, up that wall, all the way to the ceiling. So there's no way a shelf, the only way a shelf would have been able to knock the whole system out is to knock those riser pipes out. But those pipes are still there. There's 3 of them. The sprinkler riser pipes that, supply the water to all the sprinklers. And they're still intact.
Very interesting. This is so cool. I'm going to pin, so the tweet that really got my attention, actually, I mean, all of them I've been following since you've been going out there and doing live videos and everything, but the one that really got me was that one where you boxed the door being open right there, propped open, and then it's a camera, I guess, on the side of the building there. I couldn't tell for sure. So yeah, that's absolutely crazy. But if they do indeed do an investigation, they should be able to determine if someone maybe entered and turned off the main valve, or if someone did something to where the sprinkler system wasn't kicking on when it should have been.
Absolutely.
Hey, Sony, do you think there was maybe, I don't know, like any OSHA or whatever violations with the building itself?
Absolutely. I definitely think there's, there had to have been some OSHA violations. I do fireproofing, ironically enough, for a living, spraying steel structures with, I don't know if you ever noticed in some parking garages or the buildings where they spray the steel with fire retardant. That's what I do for a living. I've done it for 25 years. So, I've been in these warehouses. I know how the sprinkler systems run, the sprinkler room, all that. That's why when I first heard it on the news that, what they said happened, I'm like, wait a minute, that sounds...
And let's be clear really quick. That was on local news, correct, Sonny?
Correct. Yep. Channel 7 Chicago News. Right.
No mainstream media that I've seen is even making mention. Have you seen anything?
Nothing at all.
Other than Gasparino sort of trolling and downplaying it.
Exactly. It just, the whole situation just seemed really, really odd to me, especially, after that local station, the Chicago News said that about the sprinkler system. I'm like, you know what? I'm 20 minutes away. Let me go see what the hell. This doesn't make sense. And when I got there and I saw, the machinery moving stuff around and hauling it away, I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell is going on here? How the hell is this fire still burning like this?
That's
and they're barely using any water. Sometimes they will use a ton of water. They'll have like 3 or 4 hoses shooting at it, and then they would stop completely. Almost like as if they want to make sure it's completely burnt. They didn't want to put it out too fast to leave any kind of evidence. I don't know. I might be wrong, but that's just what it seemed like. I mean, it was 4 days of burning. It just blows my mind.
It's absolutely bizarre. And hey, thanks for coming up here and sharing all that information and stuff with us. And that's really cool, your background and experience. I mean, we definitely appreciate what you're bringing here. So, and looking forward to see what you post later.
Yep, you'll find it very interesting. Yep, and I know there's a lot of people out there that are firemen and people that work on sprinklers that are definitely going to put their input in. I'm sure, and it's all going to come crumbling down, I guess, for them. We'll see.
Yeah, and the $1 million question, for all of us isn't there should be a arsonist investigation prior to anything being removed from the site? I mean, that's just common sense, right? I mean, it's
absolutely,
crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, at least somebody there like overseeing what's happening, you know, because
Yeah,
it just seemed like,
it's like
you know,
removing evidence.
yes,
It's crazy. It's crazy.
it was almost like they're kind of trying to keep it within hush hush between, you know, the Bartlett Police Department, because there was maybe 2 squad cars there, and then at times it was only 1 fire truck, and then there was these other trucks with the shooting water at it, and you would have thought there'd be like some kind of, you know, evidence type team there, like trying to just to overlook everything, and there was none of that.
Yeah, and one of the footage was a firefighter. His hose was like drizzling water. It wasn't even spraying anything. It was just like it's like peeing out of the hose. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, it blew my mind. I'm watching this. I'm like, what am I looking at? What is going on here? I felt like I was in some kind of weird dream. That's what it felt like.
Well, they're going to have to make some kind of statement because there's too many people with eyes on it. They can't not make some type of statement. And then, you know, who knows what really happened. But, I mean, I'm just sitting here watching all these people sneak into Walmarts and lighting paper towels on fire lately. And it kind of just gives me that vibe, too. So, but there's some other news that just came out. Fox Business just reported that Truth Social should be launching at the end of March. So
let's go. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
I'm not gonna lie, I had my DWAC. I dumped it this morning to move around back into some AMC stuff, but I literally didn't lose anything. I just retook out a position on DWAC just right now. So I'm not saying do it, but when it hits phones, they're going to have incredible numbers of people trying to join the social media all at the same time. So I hopefully will see you all on there. I will be spending more time on that than Twitter once it's launched. So,
and I would be buying options.
Yeah, I'm excited for Truth Social, but go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I'll step down. I'm gonna listen in, but yeah, be looking for that tonight. I got some really clear pictures. I brought the better camera instead of my phone, so I was able to zoom in on some stuff, and I think you're gonna find it very interesting.
Very cool.
Thanks, Sonny, man. Thank you. I love that Ape Force 1. That's great.
Can somebody tweet Sonny's Twitter so I can follow him, please? And go ahead and take me down. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
I pinned some of his tweets at the top, or you could just tap on his face here in the call and hit follow.
Yeah, it's Sunny to the moon, so it's a little bit easy, I guess.
Yeah, Sunny with an O, number 2, the moon, all together. You got it.
Yep.
What's up, Shay? How you been?
I've been pretty good. How are you guys doing? Can y'all hear me?
Oh, I'm doing great today.
Hey. So I wanted to add on to Sunny, what Sunny was saying about the fire. So my boyfriend is an ex-firefighter from his country, about 15 years in Guyana. And one thing when I showed him the fire, the first thing he said was, "Oh my God, that's a chemical fire." And he kind of determined that from the color of the smoke. I'm not sure what's being stored in that paper storage facility, but the way how dark it was burning at first, definitely from his fire mind and what he's been trained is chemical fire. And after seeing some of the photos of how it burned, some of the cautions the fire department were taking along with their staff from distancing themselves from the fire was definitely giving you chemical oil type fire burning. I don't know, like I said, if they have chemicals in that building or not, but normal walls and building and stuff does not have chemicals to that degree to make it the smoke as dark as it was. You can look up fires at chemical warehouses and fires at oil warehouses and see that type of smoke is equivalent to something of that nature versus the smoke you saw versus the smoke from a normal burning building. That's not a chemical.
Yeah, it's not normal at all. So that's very interesting. Chemical fire, huh?
Yeah, very. That would definitely explain how it burned so oddly like that.
Well, and
like I
the
said,
fact that they weren't just dousing it or really doing anything, just kind of letting it burn. Isn't that what you have to do if there's an oil fire? You just have to sort of let it burn. You don't, I mean,
Let's take it out. Yeah, you got to let it burn. He was like, normally when it's a chemical fire, it's like, I'm not going to risk my firefighters trying to save that. Like it's too dangerous, you know?
Exactly. I was just gonna say that that's very hazardous. So maybe they had to like keep their distance or something. I'm not really sure. But
Yeah.
wow, that's absolutely insane.
Yeah, to add
that
to the
chemical fire. Huh.
conspiracy theory of that all, the fire, I think it was the chief fire person was like trying to let everybody know that the air quality is fine. It was just paper in there.
Well, now wait
And
a second. Now
doesn't match up with what's being seen smoke wise. Yeah.
Amazing. And also there was news too that the fire chief or something like that had passed away, not in connection to the fire, but yeah, it was crazy news all around. But all very interesting. It's gonna be very interesting to see what comes out in the next few days or weeks.
Definitely. Well, that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to add that little two piece to it. My
thank
boyfriend
you, Shay. That's, yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. I'll drop down now.
All right, sounds good. This kind of got off onto the fire talk, but it's interesting because we weren't expecting Gasparino to do what he did and just put out that tweet about it again. So he keeps kind of harping on it. It's almost like, literally feels like smoke and mirrors. I bring up Melvin Capital and the DOJ. He goes over here and starts talking about the fire and that the apes think that they're investigating and trolling. So it's just really interesting how it's kind of like this, I don't know, like, don't look over there, look over here, don't pay attention to that, pay attention to this. So very strange.
I think he's shook. Honestly, his tweets, it's just like when Citadel started tweeting out all that crap. They had their Twitter tantrum, and then Fintel had their Twitter tantrum. It's people that are on the wrong side of the play, have been on the wrong side of the play, and it's all starting to come out. We were correct 100%. When they called us conspiracy theorists, they knew we were right because you only use that word to try to discredit somebody in what they're saying. So, what's up, Swing?
Hey there. I wanted to just propose an idea since it sounds like we have some apes that are local to the area. Rather than trying to get national media attention, I think the local ape should go after the local guys and see if they will run the story, because they may not face the same kind of pressures that Fox News or CNN, national news organizations have to deal with. Like, they bringing up the things that we just talked about, as far as, hey, this smells like it's a chemical fire based off the smoke, based off of this, that doesn't make sense for a document storage facility. This happens to be a document storage facility for financial documents. This doesn't smell right. Like, you guys should look into this, and maybe they actually will. Sometimes the best news stories come out of local organizations versus national news cycles. So
I would say
just a thought.
Somebody should get in touch with the Chicago paper that was reporting on it. Was it like something 9 or something? That would be a good one because they had reporters actually on the scene the first day. I mean, with that too, if you're going out there, like, Sonny, be careful, man. Don't nobody, don't get in any trouble trying to figure out what's going on with this stuff, because with how things are now, they love to try to throw the little guy under the bus for finding out the truth, and they'll be like, oh, he's getting involved in tampering with a fire investigation. Just be careful with it all.
That's a very excellent point. Yeah, you do not want to get in trouble with tampering with evidence and that sort of thing. So
no,
it is a criminal investigation.
I completely agree, and I've been kind of slightly worried about what I have that I could that I'm going to be tweeting, because it's very self-explanatory, and I'm pretty sure everybody's going to agree with this, and I don't see how they could possibly turn this into, there's no way, or, have their own explanation, because it's all in the picture. So, yes, I'm I'm done going over there. I think I got everything that I need. But I definitely have been keeping my shades closed because I'm like, oh boy. But yeah, I'm being careful, but I also feel like, you know,
Just blink twice if you need our help. Just playing, Sunny.
I
Oh
will.
man, that's scary though. I would be careful. Just you don't want to bark up the wrong tree, that's for sure. And yeah, just stay safe. Don't do anything, that's gonna get you in hot water or anything like that. But thank you so much for sharing and coming in right away to share with us here. If you guys aren't following Sunny and you want to keep track of what's going on, he's done a really good job of posting about it. So and has that experience under his belt. So follow Sunny.
Thank you very much. And yep, I'll be getting home and putting some interesting pictures up so you guys could see them.
Papa Murphy's, we've got a great deal.
Which means
I just want to remind everybody here, if you haven't done so, if you can, please make sure you share out the call. That way people see it. A lot of times the calls are not showing up in the feed for whatever reason, or I'm sorry, up at the top of the feed on Twitter for whatever reason. I don't know if it's an update or just on certain phones, but I don't see space calls up at the top. So the only time I see them is if they're shared in the feed. Make sure you're following your host and, well, your co-host Jen. Make sure you follow Spence and Jen. I feel weird saying follow your host and co-host when I'm a co-host, but make sure you're following Spence and Jen too. They do a phenomenal job running these calls and keeping the AMC community together. So, and we haven't had a chance to say hi to Mark. I think maybe he's still a little busy, but I do see hands up. So I don't know, Spence, Jen, I don't know if you want to go that route or what's next.
Yeah, that's up to Spence here.
I'm just vibing, man. What's up, Mark? How you doing?
Feels like Friday.
What doing, Mark? Fine.
Yeah, I think he's still busy.
No, I was out
feeding the chickens.
I was out creating trouble. I bought Spence a present.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Don't tell me.
No, it's a surprise.
Appreciate it.
I was thinking of it. So, I'd make comments on the fire, but I don't want to get myself in trouble. But
exactly.
All I'll say without people getting dismissed as conspiracy theorists, I just think you should put on the right side of the page everything that doesn't fit, and then put on the left side of the page everything that makes sense. And I think, and maybe everyone will have the aha moment. So
I remember when we brought up dark pools and we were labeled as conspiracy theorists too. What are dark pools? Dark pools don't exist. Naked shorting, synthetic shares? What? No, that doesn't happen. Now all of a sudden it's talked about regularly.
I'm surprised they didn't try to tell us we were racist for saying dark pools and go that route. Honestly, that seems like the way they like to attack.
Well, they didn't use that. They did call us racist. They did also say that there's misogyny and whatnot, which I think you can find in any group of people. But I truly believe that meme stocks, if you will, actually welcomed more women into investing than ever in the history of investing in the stock market before. So I wholeheartedly, as a woman, disagree with that. I remember them trying to run those articles and acting as though, women weren't welcome. And then they did try to use racism at one point, and that just got shut down so quick.
So can I just want to just say one thing through listening to it all? I think the fire thing, though, it may sound sexy. I think it's a huge distraction. And I wouldn't focus on it because it's something that's unclear. And knowing the government and the way these things work, it'll stay unclear. And it takes the focus off the message on what the message should be.
The DOJ investigation?
Well, it's a combination of the DOJ, combination of the best investor of our generation, Melvin, with the worst performance of a generation of anybody. And that's a big story. And it's also a big story that Greenfield maintains his penny target on the stock when his numbers have been all wrong.
And instead of admitting you're wrong, you just dig yourself a deeper and deeper hole. And the way the business news works is you're always trying to pitch a story to a producer, let's say like Eleanor. And this AMC negative story is so old and so uninteresting, no one would ever go for it. Everyone would always nix it. So why do they just keep running the same tired story rather than stories about this multi-billionaire Griffin with his Grifton friend Melvin, who owns some of the Charlotte Hornets, with his horrible performance under DOJ investigation and things like that? That's a much, much, much bigger story than recycling the same AMC story for 6 months. And, the fire thing, they want you to focus on the fire because the fire is a distraction. The fire will occupy your time and take you off the key thing. That's just my 2 cents, because you'll never get down to the bottom of the fire thing. And I don't want to piss anyone off, but I mean, clearly there was some Jewish lightning involved here. And that stuff happens. But no one is going to say this thing was arson for probably 19 months, 20 months, knowing how the government drags their feet. So they want you to focus your time on this. They want you to get off track. They want you to not keep your eye on the ball. And that's my 2 cents. It sounds sexy and it sounds cool and it sounds Inspector Clouseau-like. But if someone wanted to burn the joint down, they're going to burn the joint down, and they'll cover it up, and there'll just be no there.
Well, it's a good tactic for any situation when you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing. You light a fire on one room, and then you do what you do in the next. So
exactly. I mean, that's
Also,
they want you to focus on that and not what the issue is. And Tara's right. The DOJ thing with Melvin, as it relates to Citadel, with Gasparino coming out the same day and says Citadel's not involved. Well, who asked you? Who even cares? Their name was never mentioned. So why all of a sudden is Citadel involved? But Citadel's a huge investor in Melvin. So by design, they're involved. So
I want to jump in on that comment. All these places, every time I try to look something up, everybody's so interconnected and intertwined that, you can do DD and just run yourself in circle. An example of that would be like a month ago. I was looking into Illinois and Chicago and their IRAs and their retirement funds for state workers and stuff, and they're expanding their state retirement requirements for businesses to require offering investment in their access retirement fund. And right now as of the beginning of this year, they required if you had 15 or more workers, you had to give them an opportunity to get into access. And by the beginning of 23, they're supposed to bring that down to if you have 5 or more employees. And it just seems like for their retirement fund, they're trying to raise capital. And then you take that capital and you look into it, and their IRA is invested through Blackstone, not BlackRock, Blackstone, who is connected to TD Ameritrade, who is basically invested in all your big banks and IRA type funds of that nature. So no matter what you do, they're all connected.
Well, I think the general consensus is that nobody believes a building just accidentally burned down that held financial documents that could be pertinent to a DOJ investigation because a shelf knocked out a sprinkler. I think we can just all wrap it up with that. Anybody who thinks otherwise, like Gasparino, okay, bro, whatever. That dude's credibility is It's reaching greenfield levels now. So, man, there's so much today. Utilization at 100%. Somebody just tweeted, and I don't know if it's accurate or not because I don't follow the dark pool data, but they said that it was 50% ATS and 50% lit exchange today, and it's the second green day we've had. Does anybody want to talk on that dark pool? Gensler mentioned it, and all of a sudden now the numbers are balancing out, and AMC's having green days. It's pretty wild. What's up, Swing?
Hey, one thing that I think it's worth mentioning too. I know the group complete, and I think it's justified that we focus a lot on Citadel and what Ken Griffin is doing. However, we have to also remember 0.72 also heavily invested in Melvin. So, I wouldn't be surprised if, in addition to Melvin Capital and Citadel, that the 0.72 is also being investigated in this mess, and possibly SIG and who knows what else because of all that's gone on. The buy button was not just removed for one institution. I don't think it was a whole host of them. So it'll be interesting. I know Mark is probably working on stuff behind the scenes and getting his baseball bat ready and all this crow, but
well, Gensler talked on that specifically today in the SEC webcast on the Sunshine Act, where he said, when certain stocks were having the ability to buy removed, he specifically said that. And then they tried as hard as they could, like some other people brought up in the last call with Dave, they tried so hard not to say T0. They kept saying T+0. They knew what they were going to say if they said it, how it would affect everybody in the market. So I thought, like, today's call or today's webcast with the SEC, all I thought the whole time was everything Mark said. And I'm like, these guys know exactly what they're doing, and they're trying not to quote Mark Cohodes.
They completely tried not saying T0 at all. It was just like same day settlement, to avoid saying T0. But yeah, right on.
I've had multiple people asking me for that webcast. I don't know if any of you guys tweeted out a link. Swing, did you happen to?
I got it. I'll pin it.
Okay, you got it. I was going to say another thing we could do is if you want to play it maybe in here after, we discuss further, or if you have time or the ability, but if not, it's not a big deal either. But there were some good points. I did tweet out to Hester. I'm sure she won't respond to me, but I really did not like when she commented the way she did. There's sort of like this, they dance around what was really happening with, stocks like AMC and GME during the pandemic. They dance around it and they act like it was something completely different and not something nefarious, not something, ill-natured happening to these companies during that time. When she said that these stocks were neglected, it's like, are you serious? That is not what was happening. They were not neglected. They were being massively shorted into the dirt. And then it brings me back to Charles Gasparino, or I'm sorry, to Charles Payne, the good Charles. Sorry, I've got Gasparino on my mind because of all of his crazy shenanigans today. But it would almost be kind of funny to do a mashup and have her make that comment and then have Charles Payne respond with his, my favorite clip, Spence, from back in January of last year. So it's just interesting how they kind of want to spin it as though, I don't know, like, oh, it's no big deal. These stocks were just kind of being forgotten about and neglected. No, they weren't. They were being heavily, massively shorted in hopes of bankrupting these companies. So can we just call it what it is and quit acting like it was some, innocent thing going on? It's just super frustrating. I mean, at one point, wasn't GameStop 120% short? Like
130.
Geez, I mean, come on. Like, quit acting like it was so innocent. It's so frustrating to me.
She fit me as far as I saw from her body language, how she talked, her personality, she's a 100% careerist. She was the only one in the office with the official seal behind her. Gensler made a few facial reactions, expressions that I thought they were just like, is this lady going to stop talking or what? Which was rare for Gensler because he's usually just stone faced. But everything she said, she could have said, I'm going to vote no because of this, based on this, and that's it. She expanded to the point to where it was a 2 to 3 minute run of her talking. And that's smoke and mirrors. When somebody talks too much to define why they're voting a certain way on a subject, it's to convince themselves and it's to confuse others. I think she absolutely is looking for the job after the SEC, and the other three commissioners absolutely knew it.
Well, 100%, Spence. I mean, it is clear as day that she's just looking out for herself and not for the retail, not for us. She's looking out for herself and her next job. I don't know, maybe Citadel will hire her. Someone.
She was so contradicting on what she was saying compared to what the subject was, and I didn't think she even caught it.
Absolutely shameful. I'm sorry. It's just she's got to go.
That's just my opinion. I don't know if anybody likes her or what, but what's up, US James? Did I say that right? Yep.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, so Heather, on a webcast today, she was holding the cup with a I love Citadel logo on that. So basically, she was looking for a job, next job in a Citadel, maybe. And actually, I want to add a comment to the chemical fire stuff. Yeah, I'm working at the data center. We do daily backup, weekly backup, monthly backup, and yearly backup. And we put in tapes, and then we put it in an outside offshore, which is a storage area. So seems like that chemical fire stuff, I think also there's a lot of backup tapes and plastics there. Not only paper document backups, I mean stuffs in there. So it seems like the smoke is burning all the plastics, that kind of stuff also. That's why it probably smell like chemicals.
Yeah, a lot of cardboard has oil and stuff in it too. I mean, I'm not saying one way or the other, but it did look like a chemical fire. I spent time in Iraq around them burn pits and stuff, and either way, I'm actually having trouble finding the webcast now. I don't know if they leave it recorded or if they archive it, but I'm digging through trying to find it for everybody right now.
The one thing I just want to add when you mentioned Heather is Gallagher was an SEC commissioner and he sucked at it. He was terrible and people hated him. And he left his job as SEC commissioner to go be the guy who basically runs Hood and the Robin. I mean, the lemonade stand man doesn't run that company. Gallagher runs it. So Gallagher stopped being an SEC commissioner where he was pro for the flax. And I think he made $100 million last year at Robinhood. So if you can parlay your SEC commissionership into making $100 million,
we're good to rock and roll.
At a company who owns $50 million, $25 million, $10 million. I mean, to some people, that's a really good trade, but it just pisses in the teeth of people who should be public servants. We're trying to make the markets better. So Heather, she's just simply going to position herself to get a job at Citadel or some go public outfit or the next great thing so she can get her payday. I guarantee you that's the way this is going to roll. So it's unfortunate, but that's what it is. So if you want to scream about her, I mean, again, my focus would be on where's your next gig. It's either going to be Citadel or something like it. So that's my 2 cents on her.
I'm glad I'm not the only one. So they do archive the webcasts, but the archived one for today isn't put up yet. I'm going to try to find it on YouTube, but I'm guessing within a day they'll have an archive tab for the current webcast that we listened to today.
You know, I was thinking too, Spence, if you can't find it, Dave had that call earlier this morning during the, did I say sex? Sorry, sec.
You said 4 times and then
Wow.
sex. What's going on with you, Jen?
The SEC commission meeting. Okay. So like, you remember we were in that call, so it was recorded, so we can go back and maybe you can post it or something, or I can find it.
Yeah.
And pin it in the call, so we can certainly listen back that way.
That's a great idea because it's got some
I
good
don't know. I mean, it
commentary
was
too.
recorded, so. Gosh, it was embarrassing. I can't believe I said that. Wow.
It's all right. Everybody's got people living rent free in their heads today. I got Ellen, the new VP of Popcorn. Tara's got Gasparino. It's happening. I don't know if Tara's still there or not. She's unmuted, but if you can hear us, Tara, we can't hear you. I'll try to pull up that call if you guys want to listen to the SEC cast. It's not horribly long. It's a little long. But if anybody wants to talk during it, or if you guys have anything else you want to talk about, let's go ahead and do it right now before we play that. Let's see, requests. I am personally truly excited about getting away from Twitter because if Truth doesn't have any type of kind of live streaming thing like this, I'll still be on Twitter for space calls, but I'll be doing most of my posting on Truth. I'm guessing Truth is going to have something like this, and I will keep streaming on YouTube just to keep the conversation going so the community doesn't get broken up. Trying to think what else is going on. Yeah, like I said, this whole SEC thing this morning, they tried so hard not to say T0, and you could tell they were just sitting there and they know what's coming. I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, I also thought Gary Gunzer was doing a good job, kind of making it seem like all the rules, can impact everyone in a good way on both sides. I think he had a little emotional tidbit like, oh, the hedge funds, these funds, they have, who's behind these funds, whose money is in these funds, they're also teachers, uh, teachers' retirements, people are in these funds too, as well as, retail investors. He was trying to juggle both sides, and I've always thought Gary Gensler, is trying his best to actually make a fair market. I know everyone is bashing him, this past year because a lot of nefarious stuff has been going on, but but I know, and he has to cater to the market as a whole and not just one side. And I thought he did a good job trying to balance both, but I honestly believe these new rules are because of what's been happening with us and trying to help us out and get the markets fair. So
Absolutely. And, when you're in Gary's position, you're going to take heat like that, but they've never experienced a time where there's so many investors on social media that are now involved in what the SEC is doing. And also his capability to actually charge these people is rather limited from the SEC. So I think what they did after the GameStop report is he took a step back and said, we need to get somebody in here with real power to get these guys to stop crushing our economy. And by guys, I mean these hedge funds, the same ones in 2008 that messed up.
absolutely.
So I think they contacted the DOJ, and I think it's all coming to a head now. So I'm pretty excited.
They have months and months of evidence if they hadn't been following since. So I don't see any excuse now.
Yeah, so I will say this, guys. I think it's a step in the right direction, but more needs to be done, and that's just my opinion. I think we should be, I don't know, like as retail, we should be demanding for same day or T0 settlement. Also what kind of bugs me too is that what happened today is not going to be implemented until like another 2 years from now. I believe that's right, not until 2024. Is that right, guys?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. They're doing it. I think it's a pressure push to get people to go to BSTX and T0. I think that's what it is. I think they know, the SEC knows that their job is going to get a lot simpler with the same pay, and they're going to look like heroes by promoting a blockchain exchange.
For sure. How many employees are with the SEC? The SEC?
I don't know, but I'll Google it.
Oh my God. Like, yeah, it's a lot. I'm pretty sure, like you said, their job is going to get a whole lot easier if they can push the market towards the BTX exchange just to cut out all of this.
Absolutely. And then, it's going to put the power into the hands of the investors on a level playing field, I believe anyways. And like I said, these people that are coming out and going, BSTX is bad, blockchain's going to get hacked, just talking nonsense. When you're in a shitstorm, taking a step in any direction is better than standing in the middle of it. And that's what we're in right now. The current market is a shitstorm. It's a clusterfuck. And taking a step in any direction on the way out anywhere is better than sitting here expecting the same thing to happen. The definition of crazy is expecting a different result by doing the same thing over and over again. So I'm sorry, but these guys like, Lauer and these other clowns that don't like the BSTX or T0, the blockchain exchange, they haven't come up with one logical reason why it's bad yet. And it's the same thing with the NFT dividend that we suggested to Adam Aaron and AMC back in the day. They tried to shoot it down so fast. Besides that, there's one debt right now with a covenant that says we can't do dividends. I just don't see how that can stop us from, don't call it a dividend, call it a NFT share distribution. You know what I mean? That the NFTs are linked to share. There's so many ways to do it. And I firmly believe the debt restructuring, besides saving money on interest and the new popcorn sales coming out, it is a plan within the next year or two to try to pay down this restrictive covenant so we can get out from under the heels of bad rules and we can start offering dividends. Because I'll tell you right now, guys, Batman ticket sales are going through the freaking roof. There's so many people reporting their theaters are sold out. My theater holds a ton of people, and it's over 75% in 2 days. So I'm super excited for Q4. I'm super excited for Batman box office. And I'm going to theorize that Adam Aaron is going to drop the announcement of retail sales of AMC Perfectly Popcorn on Q4 earnings call. So super excited. What's up, Larry?
Sounds good.
Oh, sorry, Jen.
No, it's okay. I was just getting excited.
Yeah, hello, everybody. Just wanted to make a couple of points. One was I've been tweeting about the fire, and I agree about it being a distraction. But I was very interested to know who was the insurer of the building. And I guess some of the tweets I've been sending out, because normally insurers of buildings are right at jolly on the spot because they have to pay out. And they've got a vested interest in finding out the cause of the fire, and usually, and I don't have a lot of experience in this area, but I mean I've seen stories and I've seen reporting on fires where places are taped off, no one's allowed, people that are going through the site are the fire marshal and probably insurers. These adjusters or people from insurance companies who help determine the cause of fires as well. So I'd really be interested to find out who the insurer is. I think there's a little bit of collusion, maybe allegedly some collusion between the insurer and the third party and maybe the owners. I mean, I don't know, but it certainly smells pretty fishy. The other thing I wanted to say, what was it now? Well, am I going to have a brain? I guess I was very frustrated with Gensler and the speed at which his staff has been working. But when you think about it in terms of government, it's sort of like they have to sort of turn the Queen Mary to get some of these things through. I know because I spent 30 years working in government at the at national level, and you've got to really tick tick a, tick a lot of boxes and work with a lot of people and get a lot of people going in the same direction to produce some of this stuff. So I guess I've been mildly impressed with what he's been able to do to at least get these regulations, on the board and get the first step uh, approved and get them out for public comments. Because trust me, it's the government doesn't work very fast, as you probably know. But I've been reasonably impressed. The third point I was going to say is, yeah, someone got um, into my account. I was River Flow, and they got
I
into.
recognized your voice. I was wondering.
Yeah, they somehow got in it, an applet. It was it was the email that was an applet that got into the account, and I was afraid they were going to get into my investments on my phone. So I'm trying to sort of sort that out and find out who got into it. I don't think they liked what I was tweeting. So now, I mean, I don't mind my name out on the Twitter space. I've got nothing I'm ashamed of or hiding. So I just like to keep a low profile. That's all. So
Larry, I've had my account messed with last
yeah,
year. Jen looked like she had trouble last week. Tara's had an enormous amount of trouble on her account. And I do believe that they have people trying to distribute some type of hack or something. There's people, really all you need is a phone number, especially with your Google account, and then you get strange messages saying, hey, this and that. But you're not the only one that's had a lot of trouble with their account being messed with this year.
yeah, I'm just afraid. I'm very worried about clicking on it, on anything, because I just don't want a bot or something to overtake my phone, and then all of a sudden I've just lost the ability to, because like I said, my investments are on my phone, and
Yep.
I probably shouldn't even say that, but I have a lot of security on the phone, but still, these people I think are relentless, and if they don't like what you're saying about them, and I think you're affecting their income or in any way changing the sentiment against them, I think that they're ruthless in terms of going after you. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say, and thanks for
Thanks,
letting me.
Larry. Tara, are you there? Because your icon says co-host with a blue dot requesting beside it. All right, if you can hear me, I'm going to drop you down and bring you back up to see if I can fix it.
Okay, I just wanted to say one other thing, Spence. I since we don't have any AMC any theaters in Canada, 2 or 3 were sold 2 or 3 years ago. I was thinking about driving to Buffalo to go to the Batman movie, so I could get the NFT.
Rocks, make it a trip, man. Make it an enjoyable.
That's about 7-8 hours away, but
Go
yeah.
find you a nice restaurant. Treat yourself.
There you go. Sounds like a good idea.
Hey Larry, I just followed you, but I just wanted to remind you, probably a good idea, with, we're talking about security and stuff here. Just make sure to turn on your two-factor thing on Twitter, just to make sure, you change and you update your passwords, a lot, because yeah, there are some people out there that, try to hack into accounts, and you just want to protect yourself. So just be careful at all times. Do not give out your password. I mean, common sense things. It happens. I mean, but you just want to try and protect yourself and your information and your account. So, but yeah.
100%, John.
Thanks.
100%. You guys, two-factor authentication. I know it seems like a pain sometimes, but do it. Learn how to use it, please.
Well, I'm using facial recognition to actually get into every area of my phone. So, I mean, I don't know if they can dodge. I don't think they can dodge facial recognition. It's pretty hard to get around that.
It's funny. The other day, my daughter picks up my phone, wanted to play a game while I was driving, and she shoves the phone in my face. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, unlocking your phone. And I was thinking in my head, like, man, somebody's going to mug me, knock me out, and open my phone with my face and get into my freaking investment account with my face and steal all my money. So I took my facial recognition off my phone.
I think would they have to open up your eyeball? I think they would have to hold your eyes open to do it, but I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, you know, when you're knocked out, somebody's gonna
I
drop
really hope that doesn't happen to you, Spence. That's so scary.
I wouldn't recommend trying it on me because I do carry, but I mean, if I'm in the club, like having a drink and one of these crazy chicks tries to slip me a Mickey or something, you know, next thing, you know, she's running Froggy Stonks and got my investment account.
Yeah, I mean, we would never know the difference when she's hosting calls and being Spence.
Well,
as long as she has the frog on her head, it's legit. That's all I know.
I had the frog on my head with a Batman mask on today for the first part of the stream. So
I missed it. I'm gonna have to go back and look. Yeah, and for anyone who doesn't know, am I breaking up, Spence?
Sorry, I'm getting a little delay. Go ahead.
I was just going to remind people that you're live streaming on YouTube. So if they want to go over and join the chat there, they can.
I think I'm getting a split-second delay if anybody else is talking. So if I interrupt you, I apologize. Well, Sugar, your hand's up.
Hello, how are you guys?
Sugar.
How's it going, man? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood today. AMC is green. I recovered quite a bit of money today, and I'm very hopeful things are falling on in places. We are moving in the right direction, and I got a very good news to share with you guys. I I came 14 years ago, and I came empty-handed. And after 14 years today, I'm able to today. I am approved to buy my house. They approved my loan and everything. They locked my rate and everything. I mean, when I bought AMC, I put a lot of money of the down payment I was supposed to put towards the house. So I was like, I got down a lot of money, but they approved me for 10, even with 10%, they approved me, because my credit was good and everything. And I just, you guys have become my family, so I just wanted to share that I came here with nothing. And, I've worked very hard, whether it was 80 hours, 90 hours, even 100 hours a week, 2, 3 jobs. But I never gave up. And, with God's grace today, with a lot of.
I think we're losing you, Sugar. If you can hear me, dude, congratulations on your house. And I love your story. I think my favorite part
because I have gone through a lot of stuff in my life, started from zero few times in my life, but I never gave up. I mean, now, like even now, I was working before. I was working 45 hours. When I saw, I'm getting so much down in AMC, I just started working 65, 70 hours a week. Like I even work more, like, work whatever you can. And, I am very fortunate that this country gave me a chance to be something on my own. I didn't have to look at others. I didn't have to ask anybody anything. And, that's what I I came here for, to do something on my own. So I'm very proud of myself, and I'm very fortunate of this country that it gave me a chance to do something on my own.
I'm proud of you, dude, and I'm honored that you are in our calls. And I love your story. And the thing that makes me proud to be an American is hearing all the success stories of people coming into the country like you and my friend's parents from Cuba who lost everything during the Castro thing. And man, I'm super proud of you, and no one deserves it more, buddy.
It's a true testament to who you are, Sugar, because it takes real strength to keep fighting and not give up, especially when you have every reason or every excuse or everything working against you, and you stand up on your own 2 feet and you do it. So it's a true testament to you and who you are. And I just want to say I'm so happy that I got to meet you on this journey. and I hear the emotion in your voice, and I feel it in my heart. So I just want to say, I commend you. You're amazing, and just keep fighting.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Means a lot. Means a lot to have people like you. Those who appreciate others, those who let people like us give a chance. A few months ago, I was very scared to share my heart and my feelings. And Tara, you and this whole group, you guys have given me a chance where I can talk and be myself. And I'm really thankful. So I wish there were more groups like you all. Give people a chance. Sometimes people just need just to talk to someone. And I'm very, very
I was given the same chance. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy to be lifted up by others around you, and that's what I think we all look for, is just to be appreciated, to be I don't know, to have that what is it called, where just to be recognized, I guess.
Yep.
and communicated with and treated as an equal. So that's the way I see you as well, Sugar. Sorry for cutting you off.
No,
But I
thank
just
you.
want to say, I wouldn't have this group if this group didn't have me first. So I just appreciate everyone, for the same exact things that you're stating.
Thank you. I just want to say I love you guys all, and we will keep fighting the fight together, and we will win. It's as long as we are fighting shoulder to shoulder, there is nothing in this world that's impossible. Nothing. So thank you again to all of you.
Sugar, when you get settled in, dude, DM me an address where I can mail you something. It doesn't have to be your home address, just like a PO box or something, or the post office. But I'm gonna send you a housewarming gift, dude.
Thank you, man. That means a lot. Thank you so much.
And
Thank
I
you
just
so
want to
much,
say,
guys.
Shug, I just want to say congrats, man. I'm so
Thank
proud
you.
of you. You rock,
Thank you.
and I love your energy and what you bring to the table. I love it. That fire in your belly, it's great, and I love that you always remind everyone to never give up and to keep fighting. So
Thank you.
I love it. You're an inspiration, and congrats. You
Thank you
deserve
so
it.
much. Your
Mm-hmm.
words means a lot. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Thank you.
Aw, thanks, Shug. Love you too.
That was a tearjerker moment. I love those
Absolutely.
moments, though. I love those moments on these calls because it's so real. And that's the one thing, money can't buy. At the end of all of this, the connections that we've all made, it can never be forgotten or taken away from us. Yeah, they can short the hell out of the stock. They can hurt us in our bank accounts, but they can't take away the bonds that we've made with people here that are, I think, stronger than, I think they'll last a lifetime. Honestly, there are people that I've met here that I see myself hanging out with, and I don't know, it's crazy what the future holds. But I never thought myself personally would even be given a platform like this or anything, and people want to seek me out or hear what I have to say. So I feel the same way as Sugar. Obviously, we've walked different paths, and but I am extremely grateful for this group of people who have accepted me and fought for me and defended me. I mean, people I don't even know who have my back more than people I know in my real life. So it's an amazing feeling, and I just want to say thank you.
Tara, I think of it this way. I was 193% last year on my plays, right? And I saw you as another good investment. And so far, I haven't made any bad ones. So you would think, on what you just said with Sugar, you think Gasparino would be like, man, I should interview Sugar and write an article about him and about who the Apes really are, because he's the perfect success story and is so beautiful as an American success story with how hard he's worked. And that's Pulitzer stuff right there. But Gasparino is too busy trying to pick on you for some reason.
There will be plenty of people that are good journalists that will be willing to publish his story at the end of all of this. I think this right now, what we're seeing is a culling of the bad journalists, and it can't happen fast enough, in my opinion.
You know what I'm going to do? And if Sugar's down with it, this Sunday or any time he's available, I want to host a call where it's me and Sugar and the normal panelists, where you can tell us your whole story in one split. Because I would love to have that as a motivational AMC
What we ought to do.
American. I think it would be amazing, Sugar. So if you're down with that, DM me and let me know, man.
I will be very, very fortunate. And my story, actually, I haven't told you guys about my background, but the town I lived in, Racine, Wisconsin, I was there for 8 years, and you know, I, I was in the newspaper for almost 3, 4 times because I was very close to the people in that town. That town, I have some incidents happen. Like, my life has not always been the best. Like, somebody tried to rob me at the gas station, and then I got hurt. He hit me with a brass knuckle, and I have 36 stitches on my face. I had to go through a reconstructive surgery. But that town and that people gave me so much of love that I even forgave that kid, because he was 16-year-old kid. So my life was never easy, but I got so much love from people in this country that I didn't get from my own people. So
Well,
physical pain doesn't bother you that much, but when you get appreciated and you see people, they love you for who you are, though that there is nothing in this world that any money can buy that. When people love you for who you are, not for what you have.
absolutely, dude. Man, we're so glad to have you in the group. I love that you're getting your house.
Sorry to make it sad. I am very positive and happy guy. But I sometimes it's when you get like all these emotions, and that's the reason I am always thankful to people in this country. Wherever I lived, whether it's Ohio, and I'm just glad, man. I came here at 23 years old. I'm 37. And there were people in my own family who said you won't be able to do nothing. It's not like I had to prove them anything, but I just had to prove myself. So
Well,
yeah, thank you.
I'm gonna set up a call with me and you on it, and if you're willing, I'd love to hear your entire story. And I think it would be awesome, man. So whenever you're not busy, let's say after this weekend, give me a DM and we'll set it up, and we'll have the real life AMC American success story, man. I think you're the perfect person for it.
I think to add to that, maybe we should get somebody like Deke to help put together all of those stories, like to get the raw footage and then cut it together and build like sort of like a documentary like they did for GameStop.
Yeah, I'm game, man. I'd love to start with Sugar if he's willing. And
Sure. I'm always there with you guys. You guys are always been with me. I'm always there. Whenever you guys need me, I'm there with you guys.
Right on,
I'll
brother.
be there. I'll be there for that. And, honestly, Spence, I think that could be a new thing, like episodes or something, because there are so many people with such great stories who it's really hard in calls like this where there's so many subjects and topics and things to discuss that you don't get to delve in and really get into those deeper conversations. So, I mean, I think it would be amazing to have those moments, those real raw moments. Sorry, I'm still kind of emotional. Thank you, Sugar. I blame you. You got me in my feels. But I felt everything you said to the core. And I just want to say, I think the one thing that we can all agree on as human beings is that we want validation. And when you feel validated by the group around you, you know that that's your tribe. Those are your people. So just keep coming back here, Sugar. I just appreciate you so much. I see your tweets. You're such a positive guy. You're so uplifting. And I mean, I just look forward to hearing more in depth about who you are, where you come from, and all of that. Because that raw emotion just, it gets me. So thank you, Sugar, for sharing and being here.
It got me too. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah, Shug. I mean, I'm feeling emotional too after hearing all that. I love your story. It's beautiful. Your soul's beautiful. And hey, like what Tara said, as human beings, we want validation. So I would love, I think that's a great idea, Spence and Tara, hosting, different types of calls, and bringing up Sugar and hearing his backstory, and other people too, you know, because end of the day, we're all human beings and we all have a story. That's for
Thank you,
sure.
guys. Thank you.
Love you, Shug.
Thank you so much. Love you guys too. Thank you.
One of the things I wanted to say, Spence, was that one of the things that I found fascinating, you know, initially I came to the play obviously to make money, but when you think about money and the value of relationships and the development of relationships versus money, I mean, the hedge funds, they're in it for money at all costs. But I found that with the community, it's really been about not only making the money, but making the relationships and supporting each other. You know, that old story about, you know, not to give a person a fish, but teach them how to fish and how to take control of their own investments and their own future and building their own wealth. And to me, that's been really a really stalwart sort of thing that sort of stuck out. How people have supported other people, have taken the time to help other people learn how to manage and invest their own money and to, you know, then use that to help others or reach the kind of financial goals they would like to reach. And to me, that's been really something else. Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
I know Jeremy
Man,
wanted to
I'm
come
like
up and
emotionally.
oops, sorry.
Go ahead, Tara.
I have a dumb delay. My connection is terrible. Jeremy wanted to come up and get an opportunity to say something to Sugar before he dropped out of here. So
Yeah.
Hey, all. Real quick, Sugar. I don't know you, but I'd be proud to have you as a neighbor.
Thank you. That means a lot, sir. Thank you. That means a lot.
Thank you.
I kind of feel like
Jeremy,
we
if
all
you come up
are all
here
neighbors.
emotional, I'm gonna kick your ass, Jeremy, and I'm not kidding. Something about
I'm
when
not scared. I'm
grown
not
men
scared of you.
when you better be, because when I'm mad, it's ugly. When grown men cry
Okay.
or get emotional, it's like, okay, women cry, like, and I'm not trying to say women are crybabies, but women are crybabies. But when men cry, there's just something that I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't take it, like in movies or anything. So yeah, hearing all this real emotion from you guys, it's like, killing me right now, but I love it.
But
I love it.
there's something about Sugar. But there's something about Sugar. And I don't know what it is, but I'd be happy to have him as a neighbor.
It's genuine. That's what it is. He's genuine.
So everyone doesn't
Hello,
start
guys.
crying. So everyone doesn't start crying. I just want to say
I'm already crying, Mark.
there. Just so I'll keep it real. Sugar, there used to be a hell of a dog track in Racine, Wisconsin. When I used to play the dog track circuit between Racine, Kenosha, and Delavan, there were a lot of fine dogs racing in Racine. So when you mention Racine, enough of everyone starting to cry. I sure miss that dog track. But it's good hearing your voice, Shug, and your story is great.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That actually that town, people always had something negative to say about that town, and I found always the most loving, caring, and it's not where you live, it's how you live. I always believe in this one thing. So my grandmother always used to say, as long as you have a heart for people, you will always be a part of people. So that that I always carried that one thing in my heart. So I am very fortunate to
Your
So,
grandmother was
so,
very wise.
so now
thank
when
you, sir.
anyone mentions Racine, Wisconsin, to me, I'm going to think of Sugar, the dog track, and there's a hell of a Danish bakery there too. So that's
Yes,
my 3 cents.
ONH Bakery, one of the best bakeries in the world, man. And they got very famous pizza too, Welsh
Yeah, see,
Brothers Pizza.
I've been around, Shug. When I run from the law, Racine is a great town to hang out in. It's great. No one visits you there. But anyway, stay
Thank you,
well.
sir. Thank you.
Guys, I'm sorry to call you guys up. I just wanted to say hi. I'm on my work now, so I have like 10 minutes. I just wanted to appreciate everyone, and always wanted to say hi to Mark and Tara, Spencer and Jen, because I always see them and follow them, all of them, and Brett. But all the time that I try to go into a call, they leave. But it's all good. um, about sugar, listen, it's a lot of people that have not the same but similar mirror. You know, um, I'm not gonna put myself in the same situation, but as you come in this country in the social age, it's a little bit harder. You know, and not because I come in here when I was 18. I used to play soccer, semi-professional. I had two ACL replacements in legs, so that ended up my career. So I went for aircraft mechanic, and it was hard because I started that career when I didn't have no paper because I came from Costa Rica as a scholarship to the Rebels, and then with those injuries they just send you home with nothing, and you coming back home when everybody tell you that you are a loser, you don't make it, and all the people that was around me, my generation, they playing Europe, playing and nice teams, and they keep going their profession. It's kind of harsh, and also family members and really close friends that they do not understand that at you 27 when you start a career, at you 27, 25 years old with a kid on the way, it's not as easy as a lot of people. I have a lot of people that have me bring me down. Actually, the last person that brought me down told me, I could not understand how can you don't make money. You never have money. You and look at me. I got a house. I got this. I got car. I got my two kids and stuff like that. And I tried to explain that, but he actually was like mad at me for some reason. So he kind of make me feel bad. But actually, it was good because it woke me up because that's my revenge. I like challenges. I like when you tell me not to do something, so I do it a triple, double, quadruple. So he was comparing himself. A Paris almost millionaire and give him everything. So um, it hurts me when other people just bring other people down because I grew up on the farm and all my family do is take care everything. Take care of all the people, take care of the neighbor, take care, bring food to the people that go knock on your door because they're hungry. My mom adopted a girl that her mom asked for help in church because she needed a job and she couldn't take care of the kid with the job she had. So my mom took care of the kid for 6 months. So I come on from that background. And I appreciate Sugar that come with this because it's hard for me or anybody that going through these hard moments to open up. Um, like I have my wife and everything, but she's from total different culture. She's Irish, so it's hard to. She sees it and me talking about stuff like that. I mean, she feel me, but basically it's hard to put yourself into a situation where you are not right. So um, a lot of people tell me this AMC, the AMC, the AMC, and bring me down a lot of time. Even my wife, I put some money that was for a down payment for a house uh, into this, which I don't regret it. But having that extra expression, and my wife, is this really happens? Is this? And she do not understand what's going on, and it's feeling it's stressful. Sometimes I didn't have no gray hair. God damn it! In 2 years, I have more gray hair in my side than I haven't collected in 20.
Welcome to the
And
club, dude.
yeah, bro, it's 30. I'm 36. I look like 43 now because these past 2 years,
I'm the
it's been a
same way.
lot.
I can
Yeah,
understand. I can feel your pain. I know. I
We're
didn't have
aging with Kenny.
I didn't have a
yeah,
single gray hair till I had the first kid, and now I got more gray hair in just 4 years.
yeah,
So that's
and
My hair may not be graying, but it's thinning. So I feel you.
yeah, and all I want you guys to do, like, I know we're gonna make money in this, and God first. I always put God first in anything I do. Is before you even collect that money, because you probably have a bunch of plans to come in, right? You got a bunch of, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, but just take a second and remind that, and the other side is gonna be people hurt. We're gonna go. I guess the whole economy is gonna go really bad, and I have a couple plans. I'm gonna help a hospital with cancer, and have all the kids like disability kids that are probably gonna rent a movie theater by me. I'm gonna just um, give them, that assignment to watch some movies and stuff like that. I do donation to the city. I live in New York for homeless people. So I have a couple plans with that money. I only wanna a portion just to get a house for my family and just to have a normal life because, like my friend Sugar, since I came to this country, I'll be working 2 jobs. I work overnight. Today I'm getting at work at 5 a.m. and I get out at 12 at night. Um, but I want to enjoy my kids. I want to enjoy my wife because I feel I haven't. I have missed a lot of my kids' childhood because I be at work. And I want everybody to just take a second and just spend time with your family because at the end of the day, that's that's the one you count, on. And we have to leave a legacy and also teach them the good and the bad because if they become successful, they one day they get to a position that they can change people's life, being good. They remember what we went through. So the only thing I want to say, thank you, Tara, thank you, Jen.
Looks like we're losing you.
And so, man, love for everybody, and it was a very, very green day.
I
Thanks,
was just
dude.
gonna say, Ricardo, we are a family now, sucker. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
You're stuck
I
with
mean,
us.
we do, we do. Listen, I'm coming over for dinner, right? You might have a plan.
Okay, okay. No, but really it's when I hear things like this and I hear the fight that people have in them, I just cannot wrap my mind around people like Charles Gasparino who actively root against this group. Like it just doesn't I don't know if he's just that detached or that angry about the few trolls who like to, mess with him, but for the majority of these people, we are all just fighters. We are all just trying to make something out of our lives, something for our future, something for, whether it's our kids, our moms, or whoever it may be that we're trying, our communities. I mean, people have told the most amazing stories in these calls about, what their plans would be post MOAS and who they would help and what part of their community or what charity they would be donating to or starting themselves. And it's just, I cannot wrap my mind around Charles Gasparino rooting against people just wanting an opportunity to help others and to have the chance to make that happen. It just doesn't make sense. And you're 100% right, Spence. If he would just take time to listen as a human being, and hear what people are saying in these calls and understand the struggle and understand where people are coming from. But I don't know if it's something that can be understood unless it's something that's been lived. And I don't know his background at all. But for me, I grew up in a tough home. I mean, I didn't always even have a home. So I understand it firsthand. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we're up against is people who have just led completely different lives than, I guess the 99%, if you will, who have just struggled and kept everything. I mean, we keep the entire system going by doing the work that we do. Look at, you have Ricardo here who works 2 jobs away from his family, away from his kids. I mean, to just talk down to these people or look down on these people, on any of us as though, we're doing something wrong by believing in something. I don't know. It's so difficult to even verbalize right now because I just wish that people like Charles Gasparino would use their platform for good rather than trying to tear people down, refer to people as conspiracy theorists or rooting for our failure or any of that. And that even goes, to AMC itself, the movie theater company, to root for, them to fail is just rooting against America. I mean, you're literally rooting against the United States. You're rooting against the movie industry, Hollywood, the one thing that we still produce, that the world loves, that we bring to the table. Why in the world would anybody want to see that be ripped apart or taken away from all of us? It just, from the world, it doesn't make sense. So it's frustrating, it's baffling, but at the same time, it's very eye-opening that some people do have a clear agenda. And yeah, I think these are my favorite spaces, I have to say, when you guys come up and you share from your hearts. And it just reminds me of why I'm still here and why I'm still holding and why I dedicate time to these calls and to this community of people, because I freaking love you guys. I absolutely love you guys.
I'm breaking out an old picture and I'm posting right now, since we're talking about family, which I ought to add Dominic Toretto into it, but I'm going to post it and pin it to the top. And I'm going to start adding people's Twitter profiles into it too. So I'll get it done. You guys will love this. And the person who made this meme, she no longer exists on Twitter, basically, after AMC lost in value from probably about $30. She just disappeared. So it's really interesting how people disappear that are pro AMC when it went down into the 13 range. And to everybody who stuck around while it was in the 13 range, and as Keenan Grace said, bought that dip, baby. Congratulations to you. And I wish Keenan would come in a call, man. I love that dude.
He has, and he's actually been in here listening recently, so I'll invite him right now because he's busy. Obviously, he has his YouTube channel, and he's a busy guy, but that guy, oh my gosh, when he speaks with fire. Like, that whole, if you can't handle the heat, get out the kitchen, that is so him. Like, and I love that, you know, he was able to connect with Charles Payne. I love Keenan. So yeah, I invited him. Hopefully he'll come in and say what's up if he has time. I just know he's super, super busy.
Oh yeah, he's a busy cat, and I fully expect to see him one day on a mainstream news channel as an analyst or something. I think he deserves it, and I personally, I hope Charles Payne brings him on a lot more, and maybe he can replace Ding Dong, what's his name, Gasparino on the Claiming Countdown or something.
Yeah, let's get Liz Clayman to connect with Keenan Grace. That would be amazing. I would love that. I think Matthew's been. Is that Matthew? Hi, Matthew.
Yep. Meditate. Yeah, it's Matt. I was just gonna go on with
Kitty.
There's a lot of stuff in the political stuff about immigration stuff, and we're all like, I'm probably 4 generations removed from that. And I think somewhere in them generations, a lot of Americans lost that willingness to go 100% in on the American dream. I know I'm in pretty heavily on AMC, but I'm comfortable with going to zero and to have the conviction to take the down payment for your house, knowing that, that there's a chance you could lose it all, but knowing that you have the conviction and the willingness to stand behind it, and knowing that you're not going to fold at a loss and you're just going to stay there with that. I don't recommend that to somebody unless you know that you are in it no matter what. And you don't care if you get knocked all the way down to the ground again, because you have the conviction that even if it does, you're just going to get right back up, go right back to work, and start over again. Not too many people have the conviction to do that. You see them stories a lot in current generational immigration. But like I said, the American generation that is 4, 5, even 3 generations removed seem to lose that idea.
Yeah, I think that's the product of the parents who immigrated or the grandparents who worked their asses off to make a life for their family, And unfortunately, as things get better for your family generationally, you lose focus. It's not that you don't work as hard, but you lose focus of what happened in the past to get to where you are today. And people become very comfortable in their lifestyles very quick. And it always reminds me of my great grandma's Great Depression story, where I was helping with some yard work. I was like 9 years old. I broke my shoelace. We went in the house, broke my shoelace, and she said, "Oh, don't worry, honey, I got you." And she opened her old Hope chest, which had like bags of buttons and shoelaces and bottle caps and everything you can think of. That I was like, "Grandma, why do you keep all this stuff?" And she said, "Because, honey, during the Great Depression, we had nothing. So to have anything, you had to save everything." And I'll never forget that story, man. And that's a lot of immigrated families. They come over right during those times, and not only to start your family in America with nothing, but to come during the Great Depression too. It's just it's heart wrenching, and I'm so proud of our American immigrated families, man. They're just super hardworking people. I've never met one I didn't like. And especially, you guys just heard Sugar's story, man. And on that, Sugar has agreed Thursday at 6:30 Eastern time next week, we will do Sugar's American success story. So I'm super excited for it. We're gonna live stream it, and I'm really thankful, Sugar. I think it's gonna be a really good shot there.
Thank you, guys. But it's gonna be lot of emotions and sad too, because I don't try to hide. I am who I am. I always been this way, so I don't want people to be sad. But I am not sad. But it's just how I lived. But I'm not as I am very happy and very positive person. But it's just the life that makes you. Sometimes you have to go through that, but yet you can be. And even in your hard times, you can still have a smile. It makes it easier to go through the hard times. So I lived life like that. But I am very, very thankful to you.
Well, right on, man. Just to give some people some laughs and to not change the subject, but to lift the moods a little bit. Check the pin up top, because this hater meme was created and put up by a girl about 4 months ago or something that was talking shit about Mark and Tara and me. And then when I minted it as an NFT, she tried to take credit for it, and now she is like not even on Facebook or Twitter anymore as the AMC price drop. So talking of family, man, I'm gonna start adding some faces in on that meme. So
Man, I
I was
remember
gonna
that. I
ask
remember
you.
that meme.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. Oh man, the memories. Yeah, some of the memes that I have saved, I have a whole collection, so of some pretty rough ones that people have made for me. Thank you. I feel very loved. But I'm gonna NFT or do something with them one of these days, someday, when I figure that all out. But that's hilarious, Spence. Thank you for sharing it. I also really quick, I don't want to get onto a whole different subject here because I love the chat here that we're, talking about now. But I did want to bring up, Spence, I didn't know if you still wanted to play that SEC hearing at all, or bits and pieces or anything like that. And I was just curious. I think people may be interested, the people who were busy at work or just missed it this morning, who have been DMing me, asking me where to find it.
let me look one more time on the SEC webcast site, because they haven't archived it yet, which means they're probably editing it. But if I can't, I'll see if I can find David's call from earlier. I think he recorded it, and we can use that. Let's see here.
Yeah, Dave said he recorded it, so it should be.
Yeah, I will. You know what? I'll look for it, guys.
That's probably the best way, because they have not archived the call yet on the SEC site, and I can't find it on YouTube. You think it would be done like instantly, but I assume they edit it so when everybody watches it, you miss out where they accidentally said T0.
Yeah. Also, I posted up the link to the most recent filing on AMC's website that talks about Vanguard's reporting. So we talked about BlackRock's reporting of shares the other day. Vanguard reported theirs today, and they've reported they have 47 million. Does anybody remember how many BlackRock had?
9 million. Oh man, somebody talked about it in depth the other day.
Yeah, I thought I remembered something like that.
They got a total of like 90 million with those institutions, those two alone.
Yep. And I think institutional ownership is something like, well, the
It's
reported is
10%.
like 100 million or something.
Like 100, yeah, it's 100 million, and insiders is like 10%.
Yeah, I was curious. The utilization, I noticed, it's been talked about
Jumped
the
to
past couple
100%.
days. Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
Do we think the price movement that we saw today is kind of a result of that, plus the good news with, them bringing in
Yes,
more?
it's definitely a result of it being at 100% utilization. I think the last time we was at 100% utilization was sometime early June before the pop to 72.
And then how much of that do you think was the Ellen Kapaikin coming in to revitalize the popcorn business?
I mean, there's got to be a combination of a lot of things going on here. There's been so much good news in the last 48 hours. It's been kind of crazy to try and process all of it.
And
Yeah, I don't think the news so much is what's affecting them. I think it's the long term of the utilization going up, the constant having to borrow. It's costing them a lot. They just can't keep it up.
Yeah, it's just so everybody knows too. My girl, my squeeze, Ellen Kopaikin, she used to work for Frito-Lay's for years and hostess. She
Wait.
is the.
I thought we had a thing, Spence.
Tara,
what is this?
I've told you this multiple times. Our relationship is purely professional, and you just
Wow.
see. This is why I can't let Paris
News
Hilton
to
follow
me.
me. Why I can't let Paris.
I'm
You know
crying.
I've got your
Stop
back.
curbs, girl.
That's why I don't date my neighbor. They're always bringing me food and stuff, and it's wonderful. And as soon as you date, that's over. That's over with.
That shit's over.
They just bring their toothbrush over and hang out on your couch.
Yeah, man. I can't have that. It's you gotta have rules, but you guys should all be happy that I'm squeezing on Ellen Kompaikin because she's running the company now. She's the VP of popcorn, and we need to keep her happy. And I think the only way to do that is just a good dose of Spence. So I'm all about it.
Oh yeah.
I don't even consider this taking a grenade. She's a total babe, and her resume is outstanding. So she's
Oh
the
my
VP of
gosh,
popcorn.
her husband is never going to let her come to any of your calls.
So I did.
You should
The meme
buy
is
her
pinned up
Mac
top
Daddy.
here.
Spence the Mac Daddy over here.
AMC and chill.
Yeah, the meme is pinned up top that I made, Tara. I'm super truly. It's a fun joke to get her some attention for what she deserves with her resume, and that Adam Aaron picked a phenomenal person to run the VP of growth. Which also, I believe somebody tweeted to me earlier that who was the person that said they think Christian, the lawyer said possibly he thinks, and this is not certified or whatever you want to call it. This is just a rumor that there's somebody on the board of directors that might be trying to keep AMC down because they work for the man. And I've always questioned Stephen Colanero as the VP of marketing on his past experience with Best Buy and Radio Shack. So I think bringing.
Oh God.
Oh
Yeah.
my God! What somebody was talking about this a while ago. Where
It was us.
these hedge funds, yeah, but these hedge funds, what they do is they infiltrate by getting people into positions in the industry, and they kind of try to sabotage them.
Yeah,
And
well,
then after
Trade
that,
Tiger
they
and
buy
Wired
out.
have been talking about it for a while. It's called death spiral lending. That's actually
Yes.
where I learned it from. And I've brought up that Stephen Colanero has some strange history working for these companies that went out of business, and then there's rumors that this guy is talking about that now after they just hire Ellen Kapaikin, and I think Ellen as VP of growth is going to be a replacement for the VP of marketing, which I can totally see with her background as, working as an executive for Frito-Lay's. Not only do you have to know the logistics and the strategy and everything about selling those items, but you have to know how to market it too. I think she's absolutely the perfect pick for AMC right now. I'm super excited to see what she does. So by memes and jokes, she is a babe. I'm totally down, but she also is the perfect fit for the job, and I wish her congratulations.
I was just gonna say, do we have her Twitter handle? Is she on Twitter? Can we follow her and give her some love?
Tara, did you try to find her on Twitter? Tara's mad
I
at me now because I shot her down.
It's okay. We'll see how long her VP job lasts. No, I'm just playing. No, but I did find a handle that it may be her because it follows a bunch of like Hostess and all these other companies, but I don't know if that's really her. So I haven't put anything out there. It doesn't have a profile picture. It could be an account that she no longer uses, like kind of like a shell account. So hopefully, though, she'll come to Twitter so that we can engage with her. I think that would be super fun.
I sent out a tweet today, Spence, welcoming her to the family and wishing her all the best, and sort of pumping up the fact that she will be contributing to the future success of AMC.
Absolutely, that's probably way better than what I tweeted. Shooting my shot, but that's good. I really have very high hopes. Frito-Lay is not a joke company, man. Neither is necessarily Hostess. She worked for Hostess for a few years, but as far as being in the salty snacks business, Frito-Lay, you can't really get around them. So I think she's gonna blow this, absolutely hit a home run out of the ballpark with the popcorn.
And if she doesn't have a handle already, I think we should officially label her as the Popcorn Princess. I'm just saying.
Yeah, popcorn.
That's a good one. I like that.
I've completely I'm simping so hard. I've completely lost track of what I'm doing. Jen, you were looking up the time in David's call, right?
It's exactly at the 10:45 mark.
Okay, 10. So if you guys are cool, we'll start listening. Oh, you know what? Last time I tried to do this, I had to shut down YouTube. So is there a way, Jen, if you could play it?
You know what? If you give me a few minutes, I can use my husband's phone. Yeah.
Perfect.
Just give me a couple minutes here. Okay.
Good, because that gives us time to tweet out the call. So and also fix the title. So let me do that really quick, or Spence, if you want to fix the title and then have people tweet it out.
I'm honestly, Tara, if you want to fix the title, because I will definitely not do it correctly. I'm terrible at titling calls, if you guys haven't noticed. I mean, I can try, but
I got it. I can do it.
That's why I'm happy when you and Jen come in, because you fix the call titles.
Oh, hang on, guys.
Spence, I'm going to step down. I have to get something else done. So thanks for the opportunity to make comments.
Yeah, thanks, man. That sounds kind of ominous the way you said you have to step down because you got to get something done. But thanks for coming in, dude.
No worries.
You're a hitman.
Always a pleasure.
Just give us a few more minutes.
Yeah, I got to figure out how to actually play a third-party sound clip while I'm streaming YouTube and talking on my phone, because it gets a lot of feedback where I got to end the call. Actually, if I'm playing it over my phone, no, I'll figure that out later.
Hey guys, I got a quick question that's off topic, and I cannot find nobody to give me a correct answer. I've been in the crypto space for a little over a year now, and I have been rugged. Somebody told me about a hex coin. Has anybody heard about this?
I have no idea. I'm sorry. I don't know if this is the right space.
Can you? What did you say? I'm sorry.
It's a hex coin. It's a hex crypto. And I know
sounds dangerous.
Huh?
Sounds dangerous.
Yeah, well, it pays hell of an interest.
Yeah, you're probably thinking about something that's on Qcoin or something like that. One of those gaming coins and shit that they're coming out with.
No, it's supposed to be it's supposed to be part of PulseX, and all that other stuff that is coming out. Um,
I'm not sure this. What I do know is that this is a AMC more stock related call, so I'm not sure about that. But really quick, I do want to remind people, if you can, Spence is about to, or Jen is about to play the transparency meeting, the Sunshine Act meeting for SEC. In just a moment. So if you guys can, please tweet out the call so that people can come in and hear it in case they missed it this morning. I think it's imperative. I think there were a lot of good parts to it. So sorry to cut anyone off. I cannot individually mute because I cannot see any of the speakers up here currently.
I'll tell you what. Oh, you ready?
We're ready whenever. Yeah, I'm ready whenever you guys are. Just let me know.
If the sound quality isn't up, let me know, because I can stop the Twitter stream on my YouTube to play the call, which they'll still hear, and then I can reopen it later. So we'll check that. But just to give credit, Dave hosted the call today with the SEC thing. It was phenomenal. He did a really good job, and I appreciate him.
All right, I'm gonna start playing it then.
You know what time it is. It's time for AMC morning meetings.
Oh, that's my voice and Dave's piano.
2022. I want to welcome members of the public who are. You guys hear all right? Today, the commission will consider 3 recommendations from staff on proposed rules. First, we will consider whether to propose rules and amendments under the Advisors Act for private fund advisors, and whether to propose amendments to the compliance rule under the Advisors Act. Second, we will consider whether to propose new rules to address cybersecurity risk management for registered investment advisors and investment companies, as well as related amendments to certain rules regarding advisor and fund disclosures under the Investment Advisors Act and the related Investment Company Act. And then third, we will consider whether to propose rules and rule amendments under the Securities Exchange Act to reduce risk in the clearing and settling process.
Hey, Jen, can you pause real quick?
Yep, hang on. Yep.
Sorry, guys.
Standard settlement cycle for most broker-dealer transactions and securities to 1 day.
Hang on a sec. It's my husband's phone, and it's.
T+1. The proposed rules and rule amendments would be applicable to broker-dealers.
Hang on real quick.
I got to figure it out. I'm going to play it on mine for just a little better sound quality. Nothing against your. Okay, what time did you say? 10:40.
Oh, yeah. You know what time it is. It's time for AMC morning meetings.
Oh, here we go. Starting up.
February 9th, 2022. I want to welcome members of the public who are.
Can you guys hear all right?
Today, the commission will consider 3 recommendations from staff on proposed rules. First, we will consider whether to propose rules and amendments under the Advisors Act for private fund advisors, and whether to propose amendments to the compliance rule under the Advisors Act. Second, we will consider whether to propose new rules to address cybersecurity risk management for registered investment advisors and investment companies, as well as related amendments to certain rules regarding advisor and fund disclosures under the Investment Advisors Act and the related Investment Company Act. And then third, we will consider whether to propose rules and rule amendments under the Securities Exchange Act to reduce risk in the clearing and settling process for securities. This would be including by shortening the standard settlement cycle for most broker-dealer transactions and securities to 1 day, which is sometimes called T+1. The proposed rules and rule amendments would be applicable to broker-dealers and certain clearing agencies. We'll also consider whether to propose rule amendments under the Investment Advisors Act to require investment advisors to maintain certain related records to this clearing and settling. I'm pleased to support all three of these items and look forward to today's presentation. Before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to welcome William Birdthistle, the new director of the Division of Investment Management, to the Commission and to the first open meeting he has been able to participate as Division Director. I will now turn it over to William to introduce our first item for consideration. I think William's also going to be doing the second item, but new rules and amendments under Investment Advisors Act to enhance the regulation of private fund advisors, as well as an amendment to the Advisors Act compliance rule. With that, William.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Chair Gensler and Commissioners Peirce, Lee, and Crenshaw. Today, the Division of Investment Management recommends proposing new rules and amendments under the Investment Advisors Act of 1940 to enhance the regulation of private fund advisors. In addition, the division recommends amending the compliance rule under the Advisors Act in order to assist our examination staff and enhance investor protection more generally. I'm honored to participate in the first open meeting I've been able to attend as division director. I've been extremely impressed by the staff's professionalism and commitment to the agency's mission, particularly in these extraordinarily challenging times. While drafting this proposal and others, the division staff have worked tirelessly to brief me on a broad array of issues that impact the investments of millions of Americans. I thank each of those dedicated public servants, and I'm privileged to join them in this important work. Private funds and their advisors play an important role in both private and public capital markets. These funds, including hedge funds, private equity funds, and venture capital funds, currently have approximately $18 trillion in gross assets. Private funds invest in large and small businesses and use strategies that range from long-term investments in equity to rapid trading and investments in complex instruments. Their investors include individuals, institutions, governmental and private pension funds, and nonprofit organizations. The economic activity of private funds is significant both to large portions of the capital markets, the businesses that raise capital from private funds, and to many individual American investors. Following the Great Financial Crisis, Congress passed the Dodd-Frank Act, which increased the Commission's responsibility for overseeing private fund advisors. In the past decade of overseeing most private fund advisors, the staff has examined these advisors to assess the risks presented by their business models. The Commission has also pursued enforcement actions against private fund advisors for practices that have caused private funds to pay more in fees and expenses than they should have, negatively affecting returns for private fund investors. Other actions against private fund advisors stem from their failure to disclose relevant conflicts of interest concerning the private fund advisor and the fund. Despite our examination and enforcement efforts, private fund investors do not receive sufficient transparency regarding the full cost of investing in private funds, the performance of such private funds, and conflicts of interest. Our recommendations today are not requiring advisors to disclose private funds holdings or strategies publicly, but rather are focused on increasing transparency about the fund's fees and performance to their investors. In addition, private fund advisors engage in a number of practices that are contrary to the public interest and protection of investors, particularly related to fees, expenses, and certain other conflicts of interest. We recommend that you propose to prohibit or restrict these activities. We believe they give advisors an incentive to place the advisor's interests ahead of their clients, and by extension, their investors, and can result in private funds and their investors bearing an unfair proportion of fees and expenses. I will now invite my colleague, Christine Schleppergrell, from the Division of Investment Management, to describe the recommendations in more detail.
Thank you, William. Our proposal recommends that the Commission propose 5 new rules under the Investment Advisors Act 1940. Two rules under that act. First, the proposal includes a new rule that would require registered private fund advisors to distribute a quarterly statement to private fund investors. The quarterly statement would disclose certain information regarding the cost of investing in the private fund and the private fund's performance. For example, the statement would include a detailed accounting of all fees and expenses paid by the private fund during the reporting period, and fees and expenses paid by underlying portfolio companies to the advisor and its related persons. Also, the statement would include performance information based on standardized metrics that are tailored to whether the advisor classifies the fund as a liquid or liquid fund. This proposed rule is designed to assist investors in assessing, monitoring, and comparing their private fund investments. Second, the proposal includes a new rule that would require registered private fund advisors to obtain annual financial statement audits for the private funds they advise and require the audited financial statements to be delivered to investors. The proposal would require an independent public accountant that meets certain independent standards to perform the audit. The proposed new rule would help protect the private fund and its investors from the misappropriation of fund assets and also provide an important check on the advisor's valuation of private fund assets. Third, the proposal includes a new rule that would require registered private fund advisors to obtain a fairness opinion from an independent opinion provider in connection with advisor-led secondary transactions to ensure that private fund investors are offered a fair price. In an advisor-led secondary transaction, advisors offer existing fund investors the option to sell or exchange their interests in the private fund for interests in another vehicle advised by the advisor or any of its related persons. Also, the proposal would require registered private fund advisors to prepare and distribute to the private fund investors a summary of any material business relationships the advisor or any of its related persons has or has had within the past 2 years with the independent opinion provider. The proposal would require advisors to distribute the opinion and written summary to investors prior to the closing of the transaction. The proposed new rule is designed to address conflicts of interest that arise in these transactions because the advisor and its related persons typically are involved on both sides of the transaction and have interests in the transaction that are different than or in addition to the interests of investors. Fourth, the proposal includes a new rule that would prohibit all private fund advisors from engaging in certain activities and practices that are contrary to the public interest and the protection of investors.
Make it short selling.
The proposed new rule is designed to address conflicts of interest that could reasonably lead to fraud and investor harm because they incentivize advisors to place their interests first. In our experience, such conflicts cannot be managed through disclosure alone. The proposed new rule would prohibit an advisor from charging certain fees and expenses to a private fund or portfolio investment. Specifically, the proposed new rule would prohibit advisors from charging fees for unperformed services, fees associated with an examination or investigation of the advisor, fees for the advisor's regulatory or compliance costs, and fees related to a portfolio investment that are allocated on a non-pro rata basis. In addition, the proposed rule would prohibit an advisor from reducing the amount of any advisor clawback by the amount of certain taxes, would prohibit an advisor from seeking reimbursement, indemnification, exculpation, or limitation of its liability for certain activity, and would prohibit an advisor from borrowing or receiving an extension of credit from a private fund client. Fifth, the proposal includes a new rule that would prohibit all private fund advisors from providing preferential terms to certain investors regarding redemption rights and information about portfolio holdings or exposures. Also, the proposed new rule would prohibit advisors from providing any other preferential treatment to private fund investors unless advisors disclose such treatment. The proposed new rule is designed to protect investors by preventing advisors from providing special redemption rights and transparency into fund holdings when these terms can have a material negative effect on other investors. Sixth, the proposed amendments to the Books and Records rule under the Advisors Act would require registered private fund advisors to retain copies and records related to the proposed new rules. These proposed amendments are designed to help facilitate the Commission's inspection and enforcement capabilities. 7, the proposed amendments to the compliance rule under the Advisors Act would require all SEC registered advisors, including those that do not manage private funds, to document their annual review in writing. The proposed amendments are designed to help examination staff understand an advisor's compliance program, identify potential weaknesses in the compliance program, and determine whether the advisor is complying with the rule. Thank you for considering our recommendation. I will now turn it over to Jessica Wachter, Director of the Division of Economic and Risk Analysis, who will discuss the economic impact of the recommendation.
Thank you, Christine, and good morning, Chair Gensler and Commissioners. Today, the Commission is considering proposing new rules and amendments under the Investment Advisors Act regarding the disclosures and business practices of private fund advisors. Private fund advisors oversee assets totaling in the tens of trillions of dollars. Assets under management have grown over time. In particular, the assets under management of registered private equity advisors have approximately doubled over the past 5-year period. Private fund advisors are thus important intermediaries between investors and companies seeking to raise capital. The relationship between a fund advisor and investors is at the core of modern finance. Investors trust their fund advisors to manage money on their behalf. Several problems appear present as we examine this relationship in the context of private funds. First, investors have limited access to information about fees and performance. These problems are compounded to the extent that certain funds have illiquid investments that may be difficult to independently value. Second, sales and compensation practices and certain agreements speak to a misalignment of incentives between advisors and funds. The proposals considered here today would bring greater transparency to fees, expenses, and returns so that investors could gain greater insight into the costs of the funds and to fund performance. The proposal would also prohibit certain sales and compensation practices in preferential terms. For example, advisors would be prohibited from using fund expenses to pay fees associated with an investigation of the advisor. Advisors would be prohibited from borrowing from a fund. Both practices may create adverse incentives for risk-taking. Advisors would not be able to give preferential information regarding portfolio holdings or exposure, nor would they be able to allow some investors to redeem at times when others cannot. By bringing greater uniformity to the information provided to investors and by moving towards less opaque and complex compensation arrangements, we believe these proposals will drive efficiency for private advisors, funds, and even issuers. This may ultimately encourage capital formation. There may be costs associated with these proposals, including the cost of obtaining an audit and the cost of disseminating information. Compensation practices and preferential terms may serve an economic function which may no longer be available. We have carefully considered these costs in developing this proposal. In closing, I thank our colleagues from the Division of Investment Management, the Division of Exams, the Office of the Chief Accountant, and the Office of General Counsel for their collaboration, and I thank you for your attention.
Thank you both for all the presentations, William, Christine, and Jessica, and so Commissioner Peirce.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thanks to Christine, Jessica, and William. William, I'm sorry that for your first rule at your first meeting, I will not be able to support it. Today's proposal represents a sea change. It embodies a belief that many sophisticated institutions and high net worth individuals are not competent or assertive enough to obtain and analyze the information they need to make good investment decisions or to structure appropriately their relationships with private funds. Therefore, the Commission judges it wise to divert resources from the protection of retail investors to safeguard these wealthy investors who are represented by sophisticated, experienced investment professionals. I disagree with both assessments. These well-heeled, well-represented investors are able to fend for themselves, and our resources are better spent on retail investor protection. Accordingly, I'm voting no on today's proposal. As you've heard already, if finalized, the proposal will impose a host of new mandates on private fund advisors. Among other things, registered private fund advisors would have to provide investors detailed, standardized quarterly information on fees, expenses, and performance, including data on portfolio investment compensation, to obtain annual financial statement audits by a public company accounting oversight board registered auditor, and to document in writing their annual compliance reviews. The proposal would require registered private fund advisors to provide investors with an independent fairness opinion for any advisor-led secondary transaction. Further, the proposal would prohibit all private fund advisors, even those not registered with the Commission, from directly or indirectly engaging in certain sales practices, conflicts of interest, and compensation schemes, including charging certain types of fees and expenses to a private fund or portfolio investment, allocating certain fees and expenses in a non-pro rata fashion, and providing certain types of preferential treatment. These changes represent a meaningful recasting of the SEC's mission. First, the proposals focus on protecting private fund investors by shaking information loose from what we deem to be uncommunicative private funds and shutting down practices we deem to be unfair is a departure from the Commission's historical view that these types of investors can fend for themselves. As we reiterated when we proposed a modest expansion of the scope of the accredited investor subset of sophisticated investors 2 years ago, we have justified setting accredited investors apart from their retail compatriots because we deem the former able to, quote, gain access to information about an issuer or about any investment opportunity or to bear the risk of the loss. I personally have never found the sophistication narrative a compelling rationale for keeping unaccredited investors out of the private markets. And maybe a silver lining of today's rules is that it signals a new belief that all investments should be open to all investors. After all, with this proposal, which affords retail-like protections to accredited investors, this Commission is publicly calling into question the rationale for dividing retail from accredited investors. Second, and related, the Commission undoubtedly will devote examination and enforcement resources to ensure that private fund advisors adhere to their new prescriptions. We're not blessed with unlimited resources, and each year we make difficult decisions about how to expand our exam and enforcement energies. Not surprisingly, the Commission historically has placed retail investor protection near the top of the list of agency priorities, even after the Dodd-Frank Act's private fund registration mandate. If we adopt today's proposal, will we choose to redeploy exam and enforcement resources away from their current focus on retail investor protection, the apparently pressing need of protecting millionaire investors from private fund advisors? Third, the application of new prohibitions on private fund advisors that are exempt from registering with us takes another step toward erasing any distinction afforded by the exemption from registration. Commissioner Troy Paredes foresaw this problem in 2011 when the Commission imposed mandatory public disclosure requirements on venture capital funds. He was concerned, quote, that the Commission is shaping a regulatory regime that ultimately will come at the expense of capital formation, innovation, entrepreneurism, and jobs. As the VC fund industry is required to bear more regulatory burdens and demands, the risk is that capital formation will be unduly hindered. This proposal, if finalized, could hinder capital formation. I do offer my thanks to the staff of the Divisions of Investment Management and Economic and Risk Analysis and the offices of the Chief Accountant and General Counsel. Although I'm unable to support today's proposal, I appreciate all of the work and effort that staff put into this well-written proposal and the time that you took to discuss it with me. I look forward to hearing from commenters about whether my concerns about this are justified or misplaced. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Peirce. Commissioner Lee.
Thank you, Chair. Transparency, protection against conflicts of interest, and accountability. These are cornerstones of investor protection in all markets and for all investors. So I'm pleased to support today's proposal, which seeks to achieve these goals in the private fund space in a thoughtful and well-informed manner. With over 5,000 registered private fund advisors managing over $18 trillion in private fund assets, as we heard earlier, this growing segment of the market has a significant impact on investors, on capital markets, and on our economy. Now, as noted in the release, The staff now has a decade of oversight under its belt, and it brings that depth of experience and expertise to bear in proposing a number of important reforms. Today's proposed rules address informational gaps and asymmetries, as well as inherent conflicts of interest that can harm investors and markets. And in considering this proposal, I think it's critical to note the large and growing presence of retail investors, and particularly those with retirement assets exposed to this market. For example, U.S. pension funds hold roughly $480 billion in private equity investments, representing an average of about 9% of their holdings. And what's more, so-called crossover investments or investors, such as mutual funds, with numerous retail investors, are steadily increasing their participation in these markets. So I'm pleased with the thoughtful approach that today's proposal takes, and I look forward to public comment on all of the proposed changes. I will only highlight a few of the most significant potential improvements here. One key reform is a proposed requirement for registered fund advisors to provide a quarterly statement containing critical information about the fund's fees and expenses at both the fund and portfolio investment level. I think this detailed, simple, and clear information will give both retail and institutional investors alike standardized cost information in a straightforward and digestible tabular format. The information should facilitate reasoned, well-informed decisions by investors who may, in certain circumstances, otherwise be at a disadvantage vis-a-vis the advisor or other investors. And as we've said before, with respect to registered funds, the Commission has a strongly held belief that fees and expenses are centrally important to investment decision-making. And that principle holds true for private fund investors as well, because informed decision-making by all investors is paramount to efficient capital allocation and well-functioning markets. A second key area of reform relates to protection from certain conflicts of interest. For example, the proposal would prohibit a private fund advisor, whether registered or not, from granting preferential redemption terms to one or a subset of investors. And that practice can lead to significant dilution for those without preference. Also, private fund advisors would be required to disclose other forms of preferential treatment to all investors, because preferential treatment coupled with a lack of transparency can severely inhibit a party's bargaining ability and power, essentially leaving investors to bargain in the dark. Lack of transparency inhibits the ability to make an informed decision about investments, which can impact returns and result in misallocation of capital and other market inefficiencies. In sum, these proposed protections related to conflicts represent the collective wisdom of the staff after years of monitoring this space and observing the costly financial impact that these conflicts can create. I have full confidence in their assessment. And finally, this proposal requires and promotes accountability among certain private fund advisors in a number of ways. Among the most prominent is the requirement to obtain a financial statement audit performed by an independent public accountant that is registered with the PCAOB. As stated in the release, our experience has shown that audits provide meaningful protection against misleading information and misrepresentations of important metrics such as fees, performance, and other items. This provides a crucial safeguard for the accuracy of an advisor's representations. The practical effect of the proposed rules is to help bring efficiency and fairness to this market through transparency, addressing conflicts, and creating accountability. So I want to thank the staff in the Division of Investment Management and echo the chair's warm welcome to Director Birdthistle. I also want to thank the staff in Examinations, Economic Risk and Analysis, and the Office of the General Counsel. All of you together have produced a well-considered, meaningful, and balanced regulatory framework, and I'm happy to support the proposal. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Lee. Commissioner Crenshaw.
Thank you, Chair Gensler. Investment advisors are their clients' fiduciaries. This means that investment advisors are legally obligated to serve their clients' best interest. This standard of conduct is not an aspirational goal. It must be meaningful and offer the real protections investors reasonably expect and deserve. And this standard of conduct is not limited to the conduct of an advisor's relationship with retail clients or registered funds. Private fund investors, including such entities as pension funds, charitable organizations, college endowments, rely on the protections afforded by the Advisors Act and benefit from advisors' obligations to place their clients' interest first. In order to ensure that the fiduciary standard of conduct delivers these protections, we must carefully consider whether the current rules are the right ones. Today's release assesses and then proposes reforms to the markets in which private fund advisors operate. These markets are often opaque and present a variety of investor protection concerns. Through the work of the Division of Exams, the Commission has identified, among other things, many concerning examples of private fund advisors' conflicts of interest, inconsistent disclosures, and improper allocations of fees and expenses. Such practices can result in harm to investors, and the rules that the Commission proposes today include several provisions to better align advisors' disclosures and conduct with their clients' best interest. To that end, the release proposes specific and detailed disclosures about fees and expenses, advisor compensation, how private fund performance is calculated, and the preferential terms granted to some, but not all,
and where they think that they're fooling anybody by making, undermining statements like that, when clearly there is an agenda. These stocks were not being simply neglected or forgotten or left by the wayside. They were being completely hammered, shorted in hopes of bankruptcy during a pandemic when they weren't even able to be open for business. So I don't know. It's just super frustrating, that woman. I don't know what her agenda is, but yeah, I think you're 100% spot on, Spence.
She's super transparent in her speech too, and her personality traits and how she presented herself, that she's definitely an institution person. And just to say, Gary Gensler later on actually talked specifically on how we can protect retail investors from preventing another issue where certain stocks are unable to be purchased. He actually called that out specifically. So I'm wondering if not Adam Aaron himself is fighting people on the board of directors that are these institutional people, but also that Gary Gensler is too. And I will say, I think Gary Gensler did a phenomenal job on everything, even up to today during that meeting. And I think he realized his lack of authority to punish these people, so he got the DOJ involved. I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, Spence, I'm like Tara, what you said. I don't know what her agenda is, but I guess I just kind of like felt like she was talking down, to retail. That's just kind of like what I felt. So
very
I feel
condescending,
like
wasn't it?
condescending, out of touch to very out of touch. So yeah, I just wasn't feeling it with her. Is everyone still here?
Yes, I'm here. I think Tara dropped down from co-host. She might be having a phone issue again, but Jen, you're 100%.
Yeah, but like what you just said, yeah, condescending. I didn't like it. It just felt very cold and out of touch. So
she's literally she is the man, like the definition of the man. Like, it was so disgusting to listen to her talk, and I think the rest of the commissioners were sitting there. Naturally, it seemed like they were almost rolling their eyes the entire time, even though they stayed professional. But Gary Gensler did make a couple facial expressions where I was like, oh man, he's had it with this lady. They're all working from home, you noticed, or some other type of office. And she was specifically in front of the seal of the SEC in an office environment. And it just struck me as odd. Joe A.
I actually don't have a lot of hot takes today, but I just want to say what's up. And I am about to go to a team outing with my LinkedIn family here. Get them a couple margaritas. I might be celebrating a little bit for this community as well. But I just wanted to say I appreciate all of you.
I like that, man.
Yeah,
nice.
Margs.
Sounds like fun.
Margs for the boys. But nonetheless, appreciate you all. It was a great day. Really, really curious to see what cost to borrow is going to look like tomorrow. But very, very exciting.
Me too.
Stuff. Very, very exciting stuff. Nonetheless, reminds me of May, June.
Yep.
Uh-huh. All right.
Cost to borrow and utilization, man.
What was fascinating before I'll take a small take before I need to head out of my hotel. But what was fascinating to me, if you recall the last time in the May, June run-up, the utilization cost to borrow actually correlated with each other in real time. So what's interesting here is, as lenders, they were, from what we can gather, right, from the data provided to us, they were charging a very minimal fee to lend out their shares. And I just don't really understand. I guess I'm trying to put the pieces together as to like what incentive they have to do that, other than what I literally said on the call yesterday. If you remember, Spence, intentionally having a rug pull against a direct competitor. Now, obviously that's hearsay and there's no evidence that we can come to that conclusion, but those data points align for me. And now they get to increase that cost to borrow on an institution like Citadel and others, of course, whoever wants to borrow shares. But now they get to ride it to the top. So it's going to be fascinating. Utilization is not a end all be all, but it is critically important so that you cannot suppress a stock to the degree that we've seen. That's what's important. Yes. And we'll see what it looks like tomorrow, but I'm very excited and very optimistic. So I just want to say that I appreciate you all. I'm gonna have like 8 margaritas and have an absolute blast tonight. So
stay safe, man. That sounds good too. I think tomorrow I'm gonna go out and get a fresh squeezed margarita. I don't mess with none of that mixer crap, man. No mixers for me.
No mixers for Spence? Oh no.
No, keep it fresh. Keep it fresh. None of that pre-made stuff.
Organic margaritas.
Yeah, whatever works for you.
Hey, more importantly, I think Tara's cheating on us because I see her in Gergavin's call. I don't know if she's still here or not, but
it's all good.
I'm offended.
Hopefully she's telling him it's time to go long, and hopefully he closed out his shorts.
I think that's probably what's happening. But yeah, so the SEC thing today went good. All the new rules and regs got passed. AMC ran like a champ. We're like 20% in 2 days now. Utilization was reported at 100% by Ortex. Cost to borrow is going up. The overall general idea of AMC is bullish. We got the new VP of Popcorn, VP of Growth, Ellen Kopakin. Very good track record. There's just so much good stuff going on right now. And like I said during the
closing
call,
of the bonds probably next week.
What was that, Swing?
Closing of the bonds refinancing next week.
The 12th is what I read. So,
and let's talk about New York City. Let's talk about Chicago. Let's talk about these big markets that pull in a lot of money into the theater business.
Yep.
Lifting mandates on a global, national, big city scale. So those are like intangibles that we can't feel as much, but directly impact this business.
Yes, sir. So it's reflecting in the Batman ticket sales. I'll tell you that right now, because reports from New York, Chicago, Miami, certain places in California, Dallas, all sold out.
Sold out everywhere. Sold out everywhere.
You guys see my new profile picture, right?
Looks good.
Nice. I actually have a bold prediction that because of Batman, the opening weekend of March will actually outproduce ticket sales domestically for compared to March 2021, just the first opening weekend.
I could see it, man. I think the estimates I put up are probably going to be low. I don't know. I think the psychology behind the mandates being lifted and certain things happening and Batman coming out of all. Batman is one movie that's cross-generational that you're just like, it's freaking Batman. I feel good about this. I want to go. But it's also got the right actors in it for the new generations, like, what's his name, Pattinson, and Zoe Kravitz, who's been in Harry Potter, who's been in Twilight. It's such a good cast for this movie to capture cross-generational gaps, so everybody wants to go see it. I think it's going to be amazing.
I'm curious on that.
Big facts, Spence.
Sorry, go ahead. You can go ahead.
So, Spence, I was just going to say, of course you're going to like fresh margaritas. Everybody in this room, I think, likes a fresh squeeze.
I love them right now, to be honest.
Fucking dad jokes for the win.
Hey guys, real quick, Minute Markets by Joni Cameron. Give them a follow. Check them out. I just pinned to the call his latest one tonight. So check it out. Yeah. And keep doing what you're doing, Joey. I love it.
Hey, I appreciate.
I am your Twitter mom, so I'm just
hey,
just saying. I'm just trying to help you out. So
your Twitter.
What are the odds that as soon as Joey starts doing his updates, AMC just starts going insane? I mean, it's kind of weird, kind of good luck. I'm superstitious, so I hope you know you're not going to be allowed to stop doing them now.
I know. I was just like, what the fuck? I immediately start doing this. Yeah, I'm just going to take it to the next level, and here we go. So,
I love it.
Maybe I am composite, man. Like, who knows, right? So,
dude, your thing this morning though, what was that? It was a Twitter. It had some type of different title.
It's you can tweet them out now. They're Twitter voice recordings.
It was amazing, dude.
Only for Apple. Only if you have Apple.
iPhone.
Yeah, I have Apple.
I don't.
Yeah. I'm coining the phrase AMC minute markets, trying to keep it under like a minute 30, keep it digestible, but I appreciate the shout out, Jen.
You should share that on YouTube Shorts too, since you've already got the content made. I think it would be huge. My best morning waking up in the past 2 months was getting on and go, oh man, Joey put something up. And it was just a quick, short update on everything going on. I loved it, dude.
Appreciate you all. That was very nice of you. You didn't have to do that, but I'm just doing it because I'm passionate about it, and I'm kind of quirky, so I don't know. Maybe I'm pretty Irish, so I think the luck of doing these clips correlates and aligns directly with what we're trying to do.
Yes, keep doing them, Joey. They're awesome. And Jen pinned it up to the top in case anyone wants to go check that out.
Appreciate it, but I have to head out. You missed it, Tara, but I'm about to slam like 7 margaritas with my fellow colleagues at LinkedIn here in Chicago, but I have to head out. Thank you so much for your time, and good luck to everyone tomorrow.
Hey, Joey, my best friend in the world lives in Chicago, works for the fire department, so next time I'm in town to visit, I will hit you up if you want to grab a drink, man.
Would love to, dude. Would love to. You take care of yourself. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, Joey. Have fun. Be safe.
Tara is organizing and inspiring a whole new group of people to launch content on the web. And I believe within the year, you're going to see some people move up in the world in a way where all these old, tired legacy newscasters, analysts are going to be gone, and you're going to see people like Joey and Keenan and Tara up in the mainstream putting out really good stuff. I'm super excited. It's bullish.
Okay, so I just have to make a statement really quick, something that is kind of, coming together in my mind, and I'm sort of thinking out loud right now. But back in May, when we were, first starting these space calls and getting to know each other and all of that, was when we first decided, with Kat Stryker to do the GoFundMe and get billboards and banners and all these different things going on. And we saw a massive amount of FOMO due to people, just everyday people going out Memorial Day weekend, talking to their families, spreading the word about AMC. The billboards were up in Las Vegas that weekend, and you had these crazy short seller calls going on Twitter, freaking out, telling people to sell, getting crazy on people. I'm just feeling the same energy right now, because right before that FOMO and everything happened and that huge run up to over 70, and I'm obviously not trying to get my hopes up, but right before that happened, we had gone from 14 to, I believe, 26, 25 or 26 right beforehand. So the weekend, right before the weekend hit, and then all weekend, everyone everywhere, all we talked about was AMC. And again, that's when the plane banners. So anyway, this weekend is Super Bowl weekend. As most of you hopefully know, Kat has the sky type planes going over the Super Bowl. That's massive. That's going to have a massive amount of eyes on it. Hopefully people will be out talking to their family, talking to their friends. I know friends of mine who unfortunately lost everything trying to play options because of people's TA, I guess, if you will. They lost everything. They're getting back in. They're buying back in. They're buying options on AMC. So I am just saying, I'm getting those May vibes all over again, May, June vibes. I'm super bullish. I'm super excited for what's to come after this weekend, after all of that advertising and people just being together for Super Bowl and talking about stocks and investing and all of those things, because it does come up. So I'm bullish for next week. I am so excited to see what Monday brings.
Me too. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm like super excited. I got like super excited like hearing that, Tara. Wow. I mean, just the sound.
I just
right now,
realized.
I just like love it. It's so addicting. I love it.
I
like,
just
AMC
realized
the
I said
move.
I'm
So
super
excited.
bullish,
Woo!
like Super Bowl, Super Bowl.
May I have one minute, guys?
So dumb. My bad. Okay. Sorry, Jen.
May I have one
No,
minute?
it's okay. Sorry.
So Tara,
I'm just enjoying like a glass of wine here and just like, yeah.
Yum.
I just like love you guys. It's great.
Oh my gosh, Jen.
I know.
You're so freaking cute. I love you, girl. You're the best.
Love you too.
So Tara, and on
And
what
I
you
love you
just
too,
said.
Spence. Okay.
Oh, I love you too, Jen. Sorry.
I miss you, Spence.
Jen, you lush.
You're gonna make
gosh, you're so cute.
You're gonna make Popcorn Princess mad. You keep saying that on the stream.
Yeah. Keep it on the DL.
Oh man.
Tara, with what you said being perfect and awesome, just remember that before that ran happened, we hit $5. Now, we came down and slowly came back up and then ripped. We just came down into the 13 range. And
we hit
had
$5. Wait. We hit $5 and traded there for a while, because I was in the fetal position on my couch all day, all night, like crying in my beer, literally so sad for that time. We traded sideways, barcoded at $5. Yep. Sorry, I had to remind you of that, because that was a very dark time of my life when I lost half of my P&L and I thought it was game over.
Because I went home to Michigan because I was so pissed off. I went home and drank myself into sleep mode during that time. And then all my friends are like, what are we going to do? And Portnoy's freaking out and everything. And I'm like, you know what? I'm already down too much. I'm not selling at a loss. I'll just hold the stock. But I took a road trip just to get my mind off it. And then, when I came back, it was just days and days of me watching the chart. And I'll tell you what's different about this time hitting $13 is that Terra started hosting space calls and got everybody involved and collected into groups for emotional support. And it's paid off, man. I bought the dip the whole freaking time, and we ripped today, and I'm wearing a freaking Batman mask. I don't even care because I really feel like Gasparino is going to be eating so much fucking crow, if there's any left after Mark bought the entire crow farm, that it's going to be a Twitter fest. And I really hope, and truthfully and personally, I wish he would come out and just report the news and get his Pulitzer and be on the right side of history. But it seems like he's so tied in to just being and I'm sorry, a douche, man. He's just acting like a douche. And I
I have
just
to
wish he would
remind
change
you, he
that.
went on vacation in Miami when we had already pre-planned a plane to fly over Miami, because we just sat in these calls to decide where the plane should fly. We picked Miami because we knew, okay, the beach is going to be packed that weekend. It's Memorial Day weekend, right? So Gasparino happened to go on vacation and saw the banner plane and took it so personal. He thought that we planned it around his vacation schedule. So we were haunting him and he couldn't even enjoy his vacation, and he cried all over Twitter about it. It was pretty damn hilarious.
I don't
As if the world revolves around him.
I don't even want him to take our side. I just want him to report fairly on what's really happening so he gets that Pulitzer. This is the story of a lifetime. And a man of his reputation from 2008 is just wasting his talent on what he could be reporting. And it drives me nuts. I hate wasted potential. So, whatever. I said Crow, so Mark magically had to come up and talk about Crow. I see that.
It's a crow shortage. Shortage of crow. Price of crows through the roof.
Good thing I'm long on crow.
Yeah.
Long on popcorn, long on crow.
A lot of crow. A lot of crow. But see what happens.
Where do you buy your crow from, Mark? If you don't mind me asking, what distributor?
Well, I must say that I talked to my man Max, and he's lined up crow brokers. we've gotten all the crow we could get from local sources, so he's found some crow brokers. So I think we would get some crow in Canada, but they have a trucker blockage, so we can't get it in over the border. But I think we're sourcing some West Coast crow. May have to see how many crows are left in Racine. But,
well, I'll tell you, they're more like dragons down here. I think they're ravens, but you could replace ravens for crows. They're massive in Albuquerque here. So if you need some, let me know. And I think I'm going to have to make Max a T-shirt that says Max's Crow Distributors. I think that's fitting.
Exactly right. On the Gasparino thing, you might as well throw Rich Greenfield in there as well, because that guy's actually stupid enough to still have his penny price target. And most of these analysts, who follow a company, on the sell side where you pay people for research, they have to update their models and sort of update their forecasts as the news changes. And it's hard for me to understand that this guy's been at a penny for so long. If you're not going to update your forecast or pretend like you're objective or be in the game, then he should either drop coverage or plead no mas. That's the part here that I don't understand is, you've been so wrong. Why don't you go from a penny to $8 or $10? At least call it as you see it, so at least you don't look like a complete shill.
Yeah, that guy is like a complete idiot.
And you said he sells that information, right?
Well, whatever his broker is, Flashlight, Lightyear, Buzz Lightyear, whatever he calls himself. I mean, he's been at many firms. I mean, he's kind of like a journeyman. He's not very good. But you actually pay his brokerage firm commissions. You do business with his firm to allegedly have access to him. They don't give out, like if I call up his firm and say, can you send me
your research and they say, who covers you? I'd say nobody. They'd say, no, we only deal with customers. So people actually pay them for that garbage. And at least you should try to get it right. You know, you may have a difference of opinion, but you at least got to get your facts straight. And, you know, and that's the thing also with Fox on this deal. I mean, I have a hard time believing that in this financial world with hedge funds and leverage, markets all over the place, blockades in Canada, everything going on, that the feature story day after day after day is shitting on AMC. I mean, it makes no sense. It's so obvious that something is wrong here. But it's just, I notice small things, and this really sticks out. So
Holy shit! Sorry, Mark. No, I did not mean to interrupt, but Spence, what the hell? You're like a Batman dude now with a frog on your head.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Froggy Stonks and my Batman mask.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it's all right.
I can't believe you just said a swear, John. I don't think I've ever heard you swear.
Whatever. I swear like all the time. Are you sure?
I don't know.
I
told
ask my family. I swear. Wow, that's crazy.
I'm wearing somebody requested I wear the Batman mask on a live stream until the release. So
I think it's cool. It just kind of like shocked me at first. I'm like, there's Spence. Like,
well, don't you get used to people on their Twitter profiles if they change? You're just like, when Swing traded his, it freaked me out, and then when JB changed his and Flip too, man.
Actually creeped me out. I was like, what is that? Creepy clown face, sad thing. Sorry, Swing.
It's one of our friends, the Shorts.
I mean, yeah, it definitely kind of alarmed me. I'm like, wait, who is this?
Well, hey, Sean and FFXX had their hands up, so let's get to them real quick.
All right, hey guys, I want to thank you again for giving me a minute to speak. Before I go, I wrote something ever since I heard Shug and his story while I was at work, and I've just been listening to everybody on my way back. I'm home now, but I kind of wrote something. And if you guys have ever seen the movie Hamilton, my kids made me listen to it, and I kind of made a quote off of it. And it says, "A man's legacy is likened to planting seeds in a garden you never see grow. I myself don't like the sound of it. I'd rather become a living legacy, one my children witness personally. Then, if I die, I'll die a proud and happy man."
Ooh, I like that. That's beautiful.
That's all I got.
Do you tweet your what do you call it, poetry?
I'm gonna tweet that one.
You should, man. That's great. And I think if you don't mind, I'll actually use that. I will type it out and quote you for the front matter of the video when we have Sugar on next Thursday at 6:30 with his life story, his journey. So if you're cool with that,
I'll tweet it right now, and I'm gonna go watch Boba Fett with my son.
Yeah,
those are the two most important people in my life, my son and my daughter.
That is awesome.
Thank you, Sean, for coming up. Always a pleasure.
Boba Fett got really good when they let Jon Favreau take back over.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
All right,
I'm
it's
really
quoted,
glad that you shared
and
that.
I will at you, Spence.
Thanks, man. Jen, you know what's funny I've noticed in all the Spaces calls is that you're not interruption. I'm not getting at anybody, but you always seem to get interrupted as soon as you start talking. It cracks me up.
Yeah,
and it's not intentional.
People are like not used to me talking, so I can be kind of quiet sometimes.
I think there's just
but
like
I like
a slight
to listen
delay.
to everyone else, so I like to hear what everyone else has to say. And I like kind of, doing the background stuff, like changing titles and things like that. But, it's also nice to speak too.
No, I'm glad you spoke more today because I think people want to hear from you. I think today is probably the most you spoke. It's been phenomenal.
Yeah, or I think maybe last night. I'm not really sure. I don't know. Sometimes, I get, I'm not gonna lie, I get like nervous too. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, and then sometimes I'm like just more open and talky and just, yeah.
Let's be honest, it's the wine. It's the wine talking.
Okay, fine. You got
All
me.
right. What kind of wine are you drinking? I
Sorry,
have to
yeah,
know.
but I do like to drink wine. So, it's Moscato Sangria. It's like a box wine that we get like from Meyer.
That's so Michigan.
It's an adult
Actually,
Capri
pretty
Sun.
good. Very sugary. Huh?
It's an adult Capri Sun.
Yeah. Without calling it. Yeah. It's yummy.
That's the most Michigan thing I've ever heard is you got a sangria in a box from Myers in Michigan, dude. That's hardcore.
Is like the best.
I'm gonna send you when I come home. I'll actually, because I drive through Grand Rapids, which like basically my brother-in-law lives there. I will drop you off a bottle of wine from the vineyards here in Albuquerque that are right next to the property that I'm gonna close on the same day AMC closes their debt restructure. Talk about superstitious. Pretty excited.
So, Spence, really quick, in about 30 minutes, I'm going to be joining another call. I don't know how much longer you're going to be running this one. I could try to do both, but I don't know how effective that would be. So in about 30 minutes, I'm going to be joining a call. Adam Coleman, who I had on the other night, discussing some of the things going on in the world today. He invited me back with some of the people that he wanted to speak with regarding big tech censorship. So I thought it would be interesting to be a part of that, especially as I'm shadow banned by Twitter and everything. So anyone in here, if you're interested, that's going to be at 4:30 and I'll tweet it out. But I think it'll be really interesting. There's a good lineup of speakers and I'm just excited to be a part of it.
I will probably definitely join that call myself. I think we'll get to FFXX. FFXX. I think we basically covered everything we needed to hit today since this is the second call in a row, and there was a lot of information and we're winning. So we'll end on a high note. So FFXX and Matthew, if you want to go,
hey, what's
go ahead.
up? I forgot I had my hand up. I just wanted to tell you guys that I love these calls. I got into AMC it was like January or February of 2021. I didn't even know about the short squeeze. I just heard that Gavin Newsom was going to open up theaters in California, so I was like, "Ooh, it's a good time to maybe get into some theater stocks." And so I did that, and then I started researching it and realized there was this whole short squeeze thing happening. So that was killer. But then of course the year went on, and I felt like I was so close to selling a few times, but it was these calls, and also Gasparino and Greenfield that really kept me going, because every time they open their fucking mouths, I get so pissed off that I just buy more shares, because it's clear to me that there's something super shady going on. So anyway, I just wanted to say that and say thanks a lot for these calls. Lots of really good information, and super stoked to be involved over here on the sidelines, and I'm all in. So let's go.
Well said. Very well said.
Oh my gosh, his pinned tweet is a fungible cucumber. What is going on? This relationship is meant to be. I'm just saying, FFXX. I don't think we've ever talked before, but it's nice to meet you, and I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, awesome.
Are those your NFTs? Did you make that?
Yeah. Yeah,
I think that's a pickle.
It's a pickle. It's a fungible cucumber.
But that's what you make, whatever.
It's a long story. I'll tell you sometime.
I think I'm in love. I'm sorry, Spence. I'm sorry, but
I already curbed you earlier. Don't even act like you're trying to tell me sorry, okay?
I'm breaking up with you, Spence. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I thought you guys broke up earlier. What's going on?
Yeah,
No,
Spence broke up with me first,
dating.
but I'm one of those people that says, sorry, I'm the one who broke up with him, even though he's the one who dumped me. So it's okay though. But yeah, me and the fungible cucumber.
If you have to say sorry, you're
It's an
obviously
inside
the
joke,
one that's wrong,
FFXX. It's an inside joke. Oh no, that's bad. Oh my gosh, I gotta get off of here.
Look at all the people that dropped when they said you broke up with me, Tara. They know it's a lie. Spreading FUD.
Exactly.
Mark
Okay,
dropped.
but anyway, it's nice
Actually.
to meet you. It is really nice to have you in here. And it's crazy to me because there's so many people who don't even have a full understanding of what's been going on and how big of a community there is kind of formed, like an ape army, if you will, around AMC and GameStop as well. So it's amazing when people are still kind of showing up and saying, hey, like, and getting to share your voice and come into a space like this. I appreciate it. And I just hope that it motivates others if they haven't talked before, whether they've been here for a long time or just found the group or whatever. I hope that they come up and say, hey, and just kind of what you just did, introduce yourself and tell a little backstory about, you know, where you came from when you got in or what brought you here. So I think that was awesome. Thank you for doing that.
Same. I think it's great. I'm going to take a look at these pickle NFTs.
They're fungible cucumbers.
I'm hungry.
Oh my gosh. Next.
I just wanted to say I wish Mark hadn't left because I was going to say something about.
He got tired of Tara's bullshit talking about us breaking up when we're never even dating. She's trying
I'm sorry,
to.
Mark. Come back, please. I'm begging. I'm just kidding. Was
That did not sound
convincing?
sincere at all.
I'm gonna invite him. I'll invite him back and see if he'll join.
Oh man.
And just posted up to the nest. I was just taking a look at fib levels because we were respecting fib levels today. When we retraced to the 618 perfectly and bounced back. And then today I noticed that we retook the 236 from all-time low to all-time high. That's a very deep retracement, but I think it's a super bullish move that we actually took that major level back, and it happens to be about where we stopped when the buy button was removed too. Like they were trying to, keep the price under that under that. So anyway, it's more and more I learn about Fibonacci. It's crazy how obviously the computers are being used to move the price accordingly. So
Algos, yep. For 100%. And if you're not following Swing Trader, he puts up incredible DDs. So please make sure you're following this man. He is awesome on it and always positive, always doing amazing work to get the charts up and everything. So I appreciate all you do, Swing, and coming up and talking. I know you're a busy guy. So
indeedly do.
Yes, and I'm always hearing his family in the background, so I know he's definitely busy there. So he's got his hands full.
Yeah, I can only talk when my youngest is sleeping.
Totally understand that. It can get kind of like loud around here with Anya and stuff because she just likes to run around and play and get into like everything. So yeah, it can be sometimes hard.
It's fun when they get to be 11 guys and they can come on the Spaces call and talk shit to Mark. So
yeah, that's what I was going to comment on. Is there seemed to be so much demand last week for shows, clowns to come into the chat space, and then it was kind of entertaining to watch Mark go at it with them. I think that there's a high demand for a room for bears and clowns to actually have discussions and that they feel the need to come into ours. And I was wondering if Mark would be willing to open one up. I'd love to just sit there and listen.
He gets fired up when some ass clown comes in here and tries to see. Most of us have them all blocked. We gave them an opportunity for about 4 months to try to convince us of anything. And we basically just smoked them, right? So we just said, finally, we're tired of hearing the same old thing over and over. And I see that Lord Fed tried to come in earlier. But we just crushed them. And it's proof in the pudding that what we're seeing now with the Q4, the price action, the movies, the box office, everything. So when Dave hosted his call the other day, he didn't necessarily have everybody blocked and they came in. But I don't know, maybe we'll let one in. It might be fun to have just like the normal panel up here with Mark and he can take on these shorts, these predatory shorts one by one night, and we'll just call it the pit. It's like gladiatorium. We'll have Mark just go toe to toe with them all.
I think that's what frustrates me so much is that Mark was deemed a predatory short by someone who I care about in this movement and who's
Trey.
important to it. Yeah. And unfortunately, someone fed Trey, a ration of BS and he ate it up, and that would be Dave Lauer. And I get it if you have some personal issue with someone, fine, so be it. But this is bigger than each of us individually. So going and acting like a gossip girl and running the tray and saying, oh my gosh, can you believe it? Tara's talking to this predatory short. No. He is not a predatory short. He's an activist short. And he literally sits here fighting people like Lord Fed, people like Ben yesterday, who are short and they're literally paid shills. They're paid to short and distort. He goes back and forth with them and fights for us. I mean, what else do people need to see to kind of prove that he's on our side, guys? Like, at some point, you kind of have to admit when you're wrong. And some people were very, very wrong about Mark initially. So it's unfortunate. It sucks. I got drugged through the mud because of my association with him and allowing him to have a voice here. But I believed in him, and I still do to this day. He's the one who's still sticking it out, sticking his neck on the line, getting a lot of flack for teaming up with the Apes, if you will, because, other short sellers are looking at him going, what are you doing, Mark? But at the same time, it's also opening up their eyes to, wait, if Mark is this well-known, short, he doesn't short good companies, by the way. He shorts companies that do bad things. That's what an activist short seller does. If he's looking at AMC as a long, they're looking at AMC as, wait, why is he looking at it? So it's just welcoming that many more eyeballs to this play. And anyone who can't see that is either just blind or getting fooled. So I'm sorry, but you're hurting my wallet when you're doing that. So I would appreciate it if you would knock it off. This isn't a closed off group. It's the stock market, and anyone, Gasparino, can go long on AMC tomorrow. And if he does, he'll be here chatting with us too. So get over yourselves, please, because you're not a gatekeeper. You don't get to play God, and you don't get to control who's long on a stock.
I'll tell you what, Mark came in and at first was really rough and tumble, and it fit with me because being in the military, I was used to talking like that. And he took some heat even from us. And he learned and adapted and grew with this group. And that's why he's successful in what he's doing, because he has read the room, he understands the market, but he also understands retail. And I can't thank him enough for his educational value he's given to us and his support to get us to where we are. And I think that's exactly why the shorts are getting crushed, because they are so out of touch with retail and so out of touch with real people that they can't see what we're doing. And Mark definitely could. And Tara, the fact that you brought him to the movement, through your I don't even know what to call it. You're just, people are drawn to you. You're like Dominic Toretto,
I don't know who that is, but thanks.
Fast and Furious.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Family.
But I was just gonna say, I would much rather deal with someone who is out in the open with who they are. They don't try to hide it. We had Ben in here yesterday who, came up as this, I'm a genuine guy, I'm here to help. You go back down his feed and you see him just bashing AMC, bashing all of us. And then apparently he used to run Clubhouse calls, just bashing the stock and bashing the ape movement. And so, as time goes on, he's playing this nice guy card, saying, I want to help you all, blah, 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 out of the kindness of his heart. And then him and Mark started having a sort of back and forth, and he just went berserk. He started cussing Mark out, calling him names. You dropped him. But my point is I would rather deal with someone like Mark, who he is who he is, and he doesn't try to hide it. He doesn't try to mask it. He doesn't try to be some nice guy that's just here to help. Oh, but secretly I'm this mean, nefarious person. Mark is Mark. Like, he's not everyone's cup of tea. I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I don't think anybody on this planet is for everyone. So you kind of have to find your voice, find your niche. And Mark owns who he is. He doesn't parade himself around as this nice guy. He is tough, he's tough as nails. And when you go through the things that he's gone through, when you have the FBI showing up at your door, and a senator sending them there, you have to be tough. You have to toughen up. You have to have thick skin. And I think that's a true testament to who Mark is, that he doesn't try to hide it. He doesn't mask it. He doesn't dilute himself for anybody. He's this is who I am, take it or leave it kind of guy. And I have more of an appreciation for that than someone pretending to be Mr. Nice Guy who turns around and tells everyone, oh my gosh, sell your stock. I'm here to help. Oh my God, get out of this play. That is just so shady. So shady. And Mark has never, ever once done that to us. He, from the beginning, when I very first ran into Mark, happened to be on his friend Porter's space call when Citadel. It's actually kind of funny the way the universe works, because
that was a good call.
Well, what happened was I happened to think of that Citadel scandal hashtag. It got trending to #1, which was amazing. It brought Citadel back to Twitter, where they started doing this whole, charade, PR stunt. I don't know what you want to call it.
Twitter tantrum.
They went on a Twitter tantrum after a 10-month hiatus of zip nothing. Since the buy button had been swiped, they didn't say a word. That brought them back because they didn't like the negative, connotation of Citadel scandal. You're welcome, but they deserve it. And I think so from there, Porter ran a call, Mark's good friend, and Mark was on there, and I happened to jump on. There were, I think around 1,000, 1,500 people listening, and I requested to speak. And for whatever reason, the stars aligned. Porter let me up first. I got an opportunity to talk to Mark, for a few seconds, because they had a lot of people that they were getting in and out. And from there, I reached out to Mark, he responded, and we talked about AMC. He wasn't really aware of the situation and how many people were still really involved heavily here. And so I've talked to him behind the scenes a lot. And I said, this is where we're coming from, kind of speaking on behalf of people who I've heard in these calls, and just that we feel this is our chance to fight market manipulation, to, demand fairness, demand transparency. And from there, Mark's wheels started turning, and he was kind of doing things that sort of were in tune with what I was telling him that we're up against. And he knew because back in February, after the buy button was swiped, he did that podcast with Portnoy regarding the buy button and how wrong that was. So Mark was already an advocate for retail back then. And then it all kind of just went full circle. It's so crazy when I think about it, how it really did feel like the stars aligned, for all of us to be able to gain Mark as this weapon in our arsenal. Because as soon as that happened, the shorts lost it. They went berserk. This is when people tried to cancel me because I reached mainstream media with Mark's big idea with the STO. There were thousands of people in that call. Some very famous people, very well-known people listening in to Mark's idea, which can be found on YouTube, by the way. The original call, it was phenomenal. After that, the attacks just went, it was insane. Twitter was insane. That's when that picture of me and you and Mark was spreading around. There was all this stuff happening. It was like pure chaos. But, I guess I guess you don't get rainbows until without a storm, right? So that's kind of how I feel. Like this is now the rainbow. You can see like the clouds are parting. Things are really coming together. And Mark is one of the few people who's still here. Those people who forced people to mute me, unfollow me, stop coming to my space calls, all of these things. Twitter now has me shadow banned. Obviously, we're doing something right if people are this freaking scared of what is going on. So I just wanted to kind of give a little quick recap. I'm sorry for dominating that, but it all just makes sense now. And I'm really,
I like
it was hard to deal with. I'm not going to lie. It was an emotional strain on me. I had a lot going on in my personal life. It was hard to deal with those attacks and to know I wasn't sure. I didn't know Mark before any of this. So I kept second guessing myself, second guessing Mark. There were times when I would accuse Mark and say, you're doing this for X, Y, and Z because so-and-so told me. And he's like reassuring me like, no, okay, that doesn't make sense because, and I'm like, oh yeah, that doesn't. So people actually had me convinced like, he must be up to no good. Like he must be, who would do this just to be, a good person or to help people. But when you think about it, when you've been in the markets for as long as he has, and you have an opportunity to help Joe Sixpack, if you will, that's what he calls us. And I love it. I think it's hilarious and it's relatable. But to help everyday people who really believe in this fight, he saw the opportunity. He knew what he had going on, and it all sort of made sense. Why would this not work to benefit everybody and to help everybody and the entire? I don't know. I see a huge change coming in the future as far as blockchain, the stock market, and I am honored and proud to say that I feel that I'm on the right side of history, and so are all of you, because you didn't go bash Mark, bash me, and just jump to conclusions or take whatever people wanted to say at face value. You did your own research. You hung around. You waited it out. And here we are. So I just want to commend everybody who, took those steps. It was hard. It was difficult to know, it felt like we had to pick sides and divide and conquer, right? So for everyone who didn't pick sides, because there really aren't any, I appreciate you. I commend you. And I'm honored to be on the same team fighting with all of you and Mark as well.
Can we talk about your tweet, Tara?
Which tweet?
I'm super pumped right now because I have a big theory based on your tweet. AMC, GME, BBIG, Prague, Mara, and BKKT all 100% utilization.
Yes, sir.
That's pretty crazy here.
What if they're all the squeeze play and the SEC and the DOJ came in and said, stop? And not necessarily that they are shorting to the max or utilizing to the max, but they said you need to clean this shit up, and it forced utilization to the max because the DOJ and SEC told them to clean up.
They could have been like, where's your borrow on all this?
Yes. I am jacked.
Jack to the tits!
Yeah.
Let's go. I was waiting for that. That was awesome.
That was good impersonation.
Perfect timing. Perfect timing. What's up? What's going on?
You know what?
We need Anya to say AMC to the moon.
You guys want to hear that? Okay. I mean, yeah, I can go downstairs here real quick. See, like, I feel bad. Like, I feel like a bad mom. I'm sitting here, like, upstairs, like, on my phone, and my husband Tony's downstairs, watching Anya, and I'm upstairs here, like, in her bedroom, like, with the
And you have a roof over her head, and you have food in her tummy.
Right.
Jen, you're doing amazing.
I'm
Don't
like,
feel
I feel like
bad.
I miss out on some things too, but I'm here because of you guys and AMC to the moon. Yeah. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna run downstairs.
Judge!